shining. It is a beautiful day here at the Mayor's Maryland 5-Star at Fairhill, presented by Brown Advisory. It is the Rupert Landscape Cross Country Day, and what an afternoon of action we have got to bring you. The crowds have been coming in their droves this morning. The tailgating sold out. It's a balmy 70 degrees out there. You can see how much fun they're having. That's a British camp, of course, here to watch a couple of those Brits jump round Ian Stark's cross-country track. We have been loving it. If you've missed any of the 3-star, you can go and catch up at your leisure. The 5-star is about to happen. Big news so far is that Fluorescent Adolescent and Jessica Phoenix, they sadly had to withdraw. They made that decision quite early on this morning. Boyd Martin took a tumble in the 3-star. He didn't ride Barney Rubble, his second ride, but he does come on his 5-star ride. He's been cleared by the doctors, so that's really good news. Me old mate, me old buddy, Sinead Maynard is sat next to me. Sinead, the dressage that we saw yesterday was outstanding. We'll have a look at that in a second. But cross-country is going to be a real test.
Well, I think Ian is not going out without a bang. This being his final 5-star course design, he is making sure that Maryland is known as one of the toughest 5-stars in the world.
Yeah, he really has. And as you say, he's not going down quietly. He wants this to be a memorable final 5-star. And it is Pierre Le Goupil, which will be our new course designer for 2025. He's here, he's having a look round, he's planning his course already. But it is all, everybody's coming. They've been coming through the gates since early hours. And that setting up there at the Mars Sustainability Bay, it's a beautiful one. We've got so many spectators here to come and watch high-class competition. The cross-country course is what it's all about. And Frankie Tiratsut is going to take us round the Yanmar cross-country preview.
This year marks the 4th running of the Mars Maryland 5-Star, presented by Brown Advisory, where legendary course designer Ian Stark has delivered another spectacle of a track. Out of the box and over the first 2 gallop fences riders will go before they come to the first water combination on the track. Then they'll navigate the long gallop uphill and make their way into the main arena, where they'll be looking to come in just about as quickly as they'll exit after navigating just a few obstacles there on the track. The Yanmar Sunken Road will come quite early at 7A, B, C, and D, and there'll be plenty to do before another gallop fence and the Brown Advisory Canoe and Cascade, where there's a new water feature this year. A couple of quick gallop fences, and then riders will get ready to encounter the Irish horse board coffin question, where it's sure to shake things up with a lot of choices to be made. Tailgaters will be wanting to cheer riders on as they come to the Cecil County barricades and the corner. Horses will then enjoy a quick breather and another long gallop on the track before they come to an area we saw a lot of shake-up last year at the Sawmill Slices. Over Rupert's Roll they'll go before they make their way to the very influential water, the Mars Sustainability Bay, where there's going to be a lot to tackle, of course, again this year. Riders then make their way to the biggest rider frightener on the track there, the Foxcatcher Flyer, before coming to the Fairhill International Roller Coaster and Drop. Such a spectacle on this course. They'll come through the roller coaster, then they will make their big drop down here at the down bank before navigating the C and D portions. One more table and one more big final gallop stretch before they come to the final combination on the track at the Belgian Owls. It'll be a question of precision and making sure that you get it all done before the final fence on course, Scotty's Farewell. 11 minutes and 15 seconds will be the time allowed as riders look to get it all done on Ian Stark's final farewell track here at the Mars Maryland 5-Star, presented by Brown Advisory.
Well, thank you very much, Frankie. Yes, it is going to be a tough cross-country track out there. Our riders are warming up. Our spectators are warming up. We are warming up. But 2 days of dressage saw this, the Brown Advisory standings from the 2 days. Tammy Smith, her former 5-star winner from Kentucky last year. My Bum sits out in front, 25.3. Three-time former 5-star winner, Oliver Townend. Ballamore Class, he's won 8 5-stars in his career, 3 with this horse in second, 26.5. With Bobby Upton and Kohler, first to go yesterday afternoon, 26.7. She was a lovely test to watch. And Tim Price Falco, he's a former winner here and a former 5-star winner with Falco at Poe. It's incredible the strength and depth of horse and rider combinations that we've got. Boyd Martin there, Olympic riders, World Championship riders, away cruising. His best career 5-star was being 6th or 8th at Badminton. You know, he is out there to do a good job. Galileo Newmert, 16th to go, 16th after dressage, 34.5. He's very fast cross-country. Fluorescent Adolescent was another very fast horse cross-country, but sadly withdrew. So it's going to be really interesting. Those first few are going to give us a good gauge to how this is going to ride. Well, we will be back in just a few moments from a very short break, and the live cross-country action is about to begin. So we'll be back after this very short break.
The Mars Maryland 5-Star would like to thank Mars Equestrian and the Mars family of brands for their support. Mars Equestrian, Buckeye Nutrition, FOM Chocolates, Nutro, Pedigree, Antec, and Sound.
Maryland offers some of the nation's best schools, food, healthcare, recreation, and views. It's a lifestyle you and your employees can get behind. Every business needs balance. Find yours here in Maryland.
We'd like to thank the following partners: Select Event Group, Quarry View Building Group, Lemieux, Yanmar, and Armstrong. The Maryland Horse Library and Education Center in Reisterstown offers a special collection of over 5,000 equine-related volumes. Monthly events include panel discussions, author talks, and book signings. Visit marylandhorse.com to learn more.
This is the PBS app. It's ready for you whenever you want full episodes of your favorites, perhaps a little history or the real story, shows with heart or the latest news and docs. Even stream MPT Live. It's all there waiting for you, so download the PBS app now for everything you love and a whole lot more to explore. Stream anytime, anywhere with the free PBS app.
Hi, I'm Ken Burns. Our next film travels outside of America and deep into the mind of the Italian visionary artist and scientist whose imagination knew no bounds. Watch Leonardo da Vinci right here on Maryland Public Television.
The Mars Maryland 5-Star, presented by Brown Advisory, is brought to you by Mars Equestrian, a better world for horses, pets and people. Brown Advisory, invest in the present to raise the future. Cecil County, discover Cecil County, Maryland, where food and adventure brings people together. Lemieux, technically advanced gear for horse and rider. And Great Wolf Lodge, bring your pack together at the newest and largest Great Wolf Lodge, now open in Perryville, Maryland. Well, there is that influential water that comes up fairly early. This, though, is the Irish horseboard start list. Harry Mead will be first away cruising. Their best performance at 5-star level, 6th at Burley back in 2018. Grace Taylor there, Ali Knowles, Boyd Martin, Commando 3, Bobby Upton 11, Tiana Kudre, Kankara's Girl, one of the only mares in the field. Of course, all 5 stars this year have been won by mares is it likely to be here? But the first away, Harry Mead for Great Britain. No better man. My goodness me, 3 horses at Burley. He had 2 inside the time there. He rode like a demon. I don't think I've seen him ride better. We had a chat with him out there on the cross country yesterday, Sinead. He's a man in form. He's a man that means business. And already, a little bit like Will Coleman, he saw a stride a country mile away.
I know, I love seeing that, and that just brings you back to the old days of steeplechase riding, right, where you just accelerated to that big brush jump. And so exciting for us to get started out with this perfect partnership. Harry's ridden this horse since it was a 4-year-old. So excited to have him here. In the first minute, we have this massive water question, you know, right into the meat of it. And what better combination to get us started?
Yeah, that's their first minute at that water at fence 3AB. Second minute comes in the main arena, and Harry Mead riding the 17 years young Irish Sport horse Grey Gelding by Parkland's, by Cruise On, the mare Parkland's Princess. Abel Albert, the dam sire. Eamon O'Flaherty was the breeder. Jane Deere, Charlotte Opperman and Peter Opperman own. Lovely now Buckeye big double brush that he just slithers through the top of. Economical jumping. Harry checks his watch. He'll cross over. He's going up the racecourse now. He'll cross over into the little tunnel that heads him into the main arena.
Yeah, we'll see him come in here now for the first question. I actually saw Harry walking
twice.
One line and then another line and then another line, because every second's going to count here. We saw the top of those scores. There are just seconds that will separate the top 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We saw that earlier as we see this beautiful shot coming into the main arena. First real combination on the course.
Harry's eye just hasn't moved.
Swings wide. Big brush narrow.
Yes, Harry. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Ooh, and a stretch.
You know, and interestingly enough, that second part walks. When you walk the distance, it walks a little bit shorter than the first, but the horses are jumping so big, so out of the line.
If that came later on, we might see that jump, you know, very much on that 3, but I think we're going to see if you go through on the 4, don't you?
Absolutely. I think just having watched that, and they'll read it. You know, horses at this level, they're not new at this sport. They understand the brush, they can read it. But here, I think a very challenging question coming up here. There are 2 bending rails, walks on a level 4, but I think we'll see it in 4 or 5. Really quite upright rails. Quite upright.
Very upright rails.
I don't know what accent I'm speaking.
I know, I know she's been sat with a Brit for too long. Off the turn, jumps the first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
And I think we'll see a lot of that. I mean, we were out there for a while earlier.
And 4 and 5.
Yeah, it's 4 or 5, but beautifully done. Those are on MIM clips, so those rails will come down. Sadly, we saw one of our leader going out under the cross country took a hard fall there, but she's up. Anybody that's concerned about Kirsten, she's up and well, and the horse is fine as we're moving swiftly
to the sunken road, the Yanmar sunken road. Now, this is a big question. It's about a 1 stride in, bounce out. And it's a log. Harry setting up. Bounces down 1 stride, bounces up over a triple rail. We haven't seen that sort of fence coming out of a combination like that for a very long time. But Harry making that look very easy. Now, is Harry Mead going first? Slightly lulling our riders into a false sense of security as he goes past what is 7A, B, C, D. He comes to his 4-minute marker now at 8. Another enormous fence on a frangible device.
Super shot down the field of that. And, you know, these riders have such complexes out there that a table like that, that's just putting money in the bank. A nice, easy shot gives the horse a great feel as he heads up to this water, which has been the talk of the town.
They will all be watching this on the closed circuit televisions all around this wonderful park. It's a waterfall fence going in. Harry's seen a stride a long way away again, a little bit sticky away cruising. Then for the first time, they jumped through water and made it look simple.
You know, fantastic right there. We spoke to Harry about that. He said, you know, I wouldn't change it. There's a waterfall. We can't see it from this angle right now, but there is water coming through that keyhole. But he thought the horses are going to jump in. They're going to have a splash of water anyway. So they're going to jump through that, and that will give everyone a lot of confidence.
Harry's seeing some great strides. He's a great man in the Beaufort Hunt Country as well. He schools a lot of his horses out in the hunting field. Of course, we're all hunting in the UK within the laws. That is the warm-up area that we've just seen. Into and out of the start box goes our next combination away. And it is the turn of Lillian Herdwood with the great campaigner, the 18-year-old LCC Barnaby by Guy Cavalier, out of the mare Lady Tunjour by Raphael, Linda Courtney-Karam, bred Barnaby, and Lillian has been in the saddle for such a long time. 38.6. They are formidable cross country.
Absolutely. I believe this is their 10th
five-star
start.
Is, yeah.
Right. So really incredible and huge testament to Lillian and her team for keeping Barnaby happy and sound and fit. And after 10 5-star runs, maybe he will be rideable. He tends to just blaze out there, giving Lillian a hell of a time.
Well, here we have Harry Meads. The crowds are there because this is another massive, massive test. Over the rail, ditch. Harry said yesterday he was going right. He's not. He's going left. 3 strides to that arrowhead. We think that is the way they're going to go. He said, I haven't quite made my mind up. I'm going to go back and have another look at it.
Yeah, and again, right away up into this really intense part of the course, we've got a big box here. 3 strides. 4 strides.
Yeah, and this is, again, Ian said 4 and 5, 3 and 4. It just depends on the horse, just depends on the way they come into it. All the tailgaters up there, they're enjoying all of the action out on this wonderful Mars 5-star track presented by Brown Advisory. It is, of course, Rupert Landscape Cross Country Day. $1.5 million has been spent on this course. 300,000 gallons of water has gone out on the watering, and they go down the Lemure Lane and away out into the country. The Clip My Horse TV aerial view of Harry Mead and away cruising as they continue.
And the whole talk has been about the time. I spoke to Ian last night. I said, how many do you think are going to come inside? He said, none. He said maybe 1. Last year we had one inside the time. Mia Farley moved up from 10th to, I believe, 3rd place after cross country.
He did.
And here
he showed up well on the last day too, didn't he? But you talk about that one horse inside the time. It's an off-the-track thoroughbred that they paid $1 for. Joni Morris, who is one of our organisers here. But Ian Stark is not messing around.
No, he is not. I mean, he is really leaving his mark here on this course, as this is a super, super huge pull. And we saw some really interesting notes from Echo Ratings, and they let us know that actually the most intense parts of the terrain on this track are at the 9th and 10th minute.
Yeah, 9 and 10 minutes. Well, he's heading towards that now as he comes round to what we consider a massive question. Away cruising. He looks like he's just starting to labour, but it's a long, long pull up here. They need now to just get their wind back, just take a deep breath, get the air back into their lungs before they turn to these 2 enormous sawmill corners, over a ditch, over the water, and away cruising looking out to the right-hand side. Harry's done a brilliant job. He's going long at the second part. Very quick thinking.
Yeah, and we walked this, and it actually isn't going to take that much time. If you have a little mess of the first one, you could see away cruising really backing off, running out of a little steam. 2 very small jumps there as he recovers. It kind of breaks up this hill a little bit, and we'll wait to see. He'll catch his wind at the top there, but didn't take very much extra time just to skip out on that second corner. No penalties there. Quickly made the plan to go long.
Away cruising, 17 years old, now comes up to the fence. The fence, that big, another big square fence before the Mars water. This is tough up here. The Crab water, the Mars Sustainability Bay.
I'm here for you, buddy.
I know, thanks, mate.
That's teamwork.
That is teamwork. Just about there. He's got 2 minutes to get home. He's going the bounce.
So this is the long option. He can do the bounce.
Then the 3-star question, the 3-star Crab in, and I think Harry Mead's pulling up. He is. Looks a little bit tired, looks a little bit, maybe he might be a little bit sore. Harry's going to jump off very quickly. He loves his horses. Wife Rosie out here. I think Harry's children are at home as well watching. The flags are flying for Great Britain as Lillian Herdwood, LCC Barnaby, jump out over that big oxer in the bottom of the valley.
And, you know, an incredible shout out to Harry for that. Started out blazing, but you could see right when he got to those wedges, those slices at the top, that away cruising just started to lose a little steam and made such a wonderful choice, always putting the horses first. And that's what we do out here at these big top events as Lillian comes towards the water. gives so much confidence. I mean, Barnaby didn't even have a second glance at that. Easy as Emily Hamill out of the box over. What do you call it? Air Corvette?
Airline. Yeah, let's get on Corvette Airlines. Because Corvette is one of the favourites. He is a crowd favourite along with Wabbit. I just love saying it. Corvette, another lovely horse who's been jumping all around the world. 17 years old by Corrido, out of the mare Tina by Clearway. This was bred by Doris Schimmer, owned by the Black Flag Option. She starts with a dressage score 36.2, lying in 19th place. That is not going to matter out here on the cross country today because time is going to be crucial. She's turning now to the first of the waters. It's just a splash through. Get her feet wet.
Just a splash through. Two massive boxes. Easy to stay here. Yeah, just a splash through for Emily.
Just for these guys.
Get their feet wet before they head up into the main arena. And this horse so phenomenal and a long-time partnership with Emily and Corvette. She actually ended up able to purchase this horse because the horse was on the market, was so quirky. She got along with him so well, and a team behind her made it happen.
Strides. I mean, she's this double brush that's coming up. She's not giving up. She's we're not going to say jump, but so we're going to go back to LCC Barnaby and Lillian Hurd-Wood. And she's up at the, well, it's a question coming downhill to jump these rails. They're very upright. Ooh, gives them a knock. She's going to go left as well. I mean, we walked it, didn't we? Went, why would you?
Yeah, and I actually spoke to Ian about that as well, and he said, I won't be surprised if no one attempts it.
And he wouldn't be upset.
And he wouldn't be upset.
Yeah, that's what he said, didn't he? So, Lillian Hurd-Wood coming down to these huge fences. 1, 2, 3. She goes 3. 1, 2, 3.
Oh! Are you kidding me?
18 years old. 3
and 3.
What?
Wow. You know, that, just for the record, there's not a 3 there, but there is a 3 there. That's cross-country riding right there. Get to the end of the reins.
Yeah.
See what's there.
Barnaby, you
Make it happen. And that is so fantastic.
Yeah.
And that's such an intense part of the course. You've got that massive coffin question, and then up the hill to that complex there, which there's going to be, obviously, we thought there was a 3 and a 4 and a 4 and a 5, but now there's a 3 and a 3.
So away from the Lemure lane goes LCC Barnaby. Up to the next question. Well, I say it's a single fence. It's a let-up fence in cross-country terms for these 5-star horses. And he looks like he's having a brilliant time. This is going to be, I think, one of his last 5 stars, as well as my Balm's last 5 stars. It's great to see some of the older horses here at the Mars Meriden 5-star presented by Brown Advisory. This is the Russell Landscape Cross Country Day. They've done all the groundwork along with Tyson, his team, Jamie as well. They've just done a brilliant job in dressing these fences. It is a beautiful track to walk. It's a beautiful track for spectators and tailgaters, and they're all here to see not only the 5-star, the 3-star that preceded this, as Lillian Hurd-Wood comes up to jump what we saw. Harry Mead jumped the first one, but not the second. He went long. I can only imagine that Lillian's got plan A in her head to go straight, but you never know, and that's why you need to be reactive, as Harry was so quick. Taking her time.
And you can see it's a little bit like the Vicarage V at Badminton. You can see the water. She's going direct, staying tight on the line. Oh!
I think she was okay, but we're not on the camera angle. There are about 50 cameras,
stagnant cameras out there.
Yeah, videoing their landing line, so that can be reviewed by the ground jury of our 3 amazing ground jury members: the president, Christina Klingspor from Sweden, Xavier Lesource from France, and Valerie Pride from the USA. They'll have a look at that footage and just see what they think as Lillian Hurd-Wood, LCC Barnaby. Will they go direct at the Mars Sustainability Bay? I would say yes.
It looked like she had a lot of horse coming in. Yep. Bounce down. Important to get a powerful shot up this
6,
bay.
7. She goes 8. 1, 2, 1. Well done, Lillian.
You can hear the crowd going wild. They're screaming before she's even finished the exercise. But, you know, so much of an opportunity here for Lillian as we have our next starter on course, Cosby Green, Highly Suspicious. Led us after day one in the dressage.
I mean, Highly Suspicious is by the fabulous Russell. Russell, of course, was a medalist at the Olympic Games with Nick Skelton in Beijing. And this is such a lovely horse. Now, second 5-star for Cosby. She rode at Burghley with Copper Beach. She's now riding her second 5-star, but first time 5-star for Highly Suspicious. The 14-year-old grey gelding. They start the dressage, overnight leaders from day one, in 6th place on 28.
Yeah, and I mean, this is one of our fastest combinations on course. So we'll really be watching the time here. I think Lillian's going to be setting the standard as Cosby jumps into this first water. Easy. Just a puddle, like Spencer said earlier. It's a puddle in and out. Down at the bottom of the screen, we can see Lillian is going to be heading towards the end of the track. 14 seconds left to go. And we do see 68.6 added there, so it looks like they might have given her a 20, but we'll confirm that later.
Yeah, she's been given a 20 up at, well, it'll be at 17 and 18. That's the double of corners. As Cosby Green makes her way from the double brush up towards the main arena.
Cosby been based over in the UK as we get a shot back for Emily Hamill and Corvette. We see some additions to her score as well, so we will get that to you once we figure out what those additions came from. But looks like she is flying as we're back to Cosby coming into the main arena. It's right here in front of us. So our last two riders that came in here, they did it on the 3 and the 4. So we'll see what Cosby does. We saw Harry go in 3 and 3. It doesn't matter just as long as you go from 1 to 2 to 3.
1, 2, 3.
Whoa. Big shot. Good job there. But you could see the athleticism there. The horse just bending in the air and then just reaching for the jump, really understanding. We've heard in that Emily had her 20 at the coffin.
Yeah, she did. She did.
So we'll get some footage to you as we receive it, as we see Cosby galloping out into the infield. And this is a really interesting question because it's just wide out in front of you, a racetrack. And the horses don't know that these rails are coming. So it's up to the rider to really do a good job, set the horses back really to a show jumping canter, to have this neat little nippy bending turn here as you see Cosby starting to set Highly Suspicious up.
And Lillian Herdwood, she has got potential penalties at 17, 18, I think more the second of the corners. And also she's had another potential penalty at fence 22, which is the Mars equestrian angles. Well, that's quite interesting. I didn't think there was a problem with those two brushes coming out of the water. But what the fence judges will do is put the penalties on to be taken off.
So Cosby looking really fantastic as she comes up to the Yanmar Sunken Road, which caused so much trouble in the 3-star. Bounce on the way in, 1 stride across, bounce to a narrow triple on the way out. Little trot step, very clever. Fantastic.
Oh, lovely. So athletic.
Yes. You know, and I wonder, too, the 5-star gets to kind of spend a little bit more time. They're a little bit further down the sunken road. The 3-star horses, it was quite abrupt turn and jump, and it's just giving them a little second to settle.
And they had the fence before as well, didn't they? And it came up pretty quickly. Here comes Corvette with those 20 penalties that they picked up, coming through the coffin, up the bank. 1, 2... and 1.
Nice. We saw Emily, we talked to her up at that combination yesterday. She said she wasn't going to count a number across. She just wanted a powerful jump up the bank as we're back to Cosby, who is flying. And she's come here with so much confidence, Spencer.
Yeah, she has. Highly Suspicious. The 14-year-old by the great jumping sire. and doesn't even take a blind bit of notice of that waterfall in the water, and they go on. This is a good round for them. Corvettes and Emily Hamill down to the massive fence. She's on 36.2. That is her dressage score, and she's got 1:20 to get home.
So we've seen her score move around a little bit, so we're back on that dressage score.
Yeah, Emily had been given the 20 penalties at fence, at the coffin. They've actually been taken away. The coffin being the Tyson test, but they have been taken away.
Oh no, and you just unfortunately could see that. He just added a step on the way down, and then, you know, this horse is nothing but brave, but he can be a little bit opinionated. It's a very narrow triple brush there. Striding didn't quite work out. His focus wasn't quite on it, so unfortunately a run out there, and perfectly on it on the way out, but very unfortunate right at the end of this track. So still waiting to have our first clear round home.
Yeah, we are. The 20 penalties were taken away at the Irish Horse Board's coffin question at 12, but that will be 20 penalties on her card now, and they've been added there. David Dole is on course with Galileo Niamud with a dressage at 34.5. Here he is. This is a fabulous horse, 5-star form under their belts, 13-year-old Dutch-bred gelding. And we're back with Cosby Green. She's just had a little bit of an issue at the bottom of the bank, or is it the log? That's a first refusal, second refusal at the log. So it's 20 for the first refusal, 40 penalties for the second refusal.
You can see she's trying to figure out exactly what to do, and then realizes all she could do is try again. Gets it done. You know, just something there that the horse didn't quite understand, but she got it sort of back down to Emily as she jumps the last Scotty.
Yeah, jumps the last fence. The Scottish farewell goes past the Scottish flags, which turn into the French flags. There it is, 69.0, 32 seconds over. Not too bad, actually, 32 seconds. And that will give her a handful of time penalties.
So unfortunate just to have those penalties there at the end. As we see Cosby galloping down the lane here with adding penalties from that coffin, so she'll no longer be at the top of the leaderboard there, but still going out for the experience. She's not backing off. You could see that she came around for that third attempt, and she was going. Back to David Doyle, who has been pinned as the fastest horse in the field. If anyone can do it, this guy can do it.
Well, let's hope David can. Nick Turner, who trains him, he's done a great job, Galileo Niamud. And David went through the arena on 3 and 4, had to really shorten for the 4th stride. But the 13-year-old Dutch-bred gelding by Karam Bol, the Dam Sire Harkos, owned by David, Mary Fox and Gillian Jonas. Gillian, who's been a great supporter, along with the Fox family, and he goes through there on the 4. He walked that with Nick, he walked on the 4, and he rode exactly what
and it was beautiful. It was beautifully done. He's not only the fastest, but the most reliable horse across the country. He has had one cross-country fault in his entire international career.
Yeah.
Over 30 cross-country runs in more than 6 years. I mean, that is incredible.
It is incredible. David's such a good rider. He's produced a lot of horses up to the 5-star level, but this is a very exciting horse. And, you know, when we talk about ages of horses, you know, David's just hailed a cap coming out of there, but only 13 years old. There's a lot of running still in this horse, which is really, really exciting.
And, you know, these guys coming over here, they asked for it. You got to be careful what you ask for. They wanted a big cross-country track. They didn't want it to be a dressage competition, and it is proving to be that today.
Oh, sadly there, Cosby Green has retired with highly suspicious after problems on the bank. David Dole sails out over the parallel bar. Those big, enormous Dubarry of Ireland rails. Comes now to the Brown Advisory Canoe and Cascade. This canoe, again, that's got water. Look at the crowds up there. Galileo Niamud jumps in well. 4 strides across.
Beautiful ride in, and David rode so beautifully. He was very confident. He coming up to that, stayed right behind, gave him an encouraging smack on the shoulder, said, come on, you got this, an easy 4 down to that big watering hole that they have to jump through, causing no issue. Here, just a great time to put some money in the bank. There is a big drop. You can see that on the backside of that as he takes off across, really looking for our first horse just clear.
Yeah, we're looking for that first one. Could it be David Dull and Galileo Numud for Great Britain? He comes down to the Magna Wave fence, this big roll top, half roll, and away from the start is Buck Davidson. Buck riding Sorakaima. Sorakaima, former racehorse, off the track thoroughbred, ran in a number of flat races, 1-2 back-to-back very quickly, but then moved into the world of eventing, and Buck has built a brilliant relationship with this horse. 34 to the dressage, 13th place as they come through to the show jumping phase, and we hope for good things, because Buck, it's not been a happy hunting ground all the time here at the Mars Maryland 5-star. Let's hope he has a better day here today.
Well, it's a great day to be on a thoroughbred. You can see they really have to carve out and come back into this big water. It's a max table. They have to jump in across the spread. They do land on the grass, run through the puddle, and out you go as they take off back again to the main arena.
Yeah.
You can hear the kids yelling, he made it! He's got a little bit to go, guys, so hang on.
Yeah, we saw earlier in the 3-star Natalia Nenneman riding Buck's father's lovely Chesterton's Brown Sugar, the mare that sadly had a run out in the main arena. But Buck's father, Bruce David Sr., was on so many championship teams and represented the USA on many, many occasions. He is a true legend of the sport. As Buck jumps the Buckeye Brush Oxer alongside the racecourse proper and is about to pop himself into the main arena.
And less than an hour ago, so there's a generation of Davidsons here, because Buck's little girls were just in the pony races up at the top, taking pictures with Grandpa Buck.
It was so lovely.
But Grandpa Bruce.
I know, it was. Did you nearly call him Grandpa Buck?
I did.
Okay.
I did.
But I saw the lead rein pony races. We've got the Corgi racing tomorrow. That's the highlight of my Mars Maryland 5-star. It's just so cute to watch, but the lead reins were even better. Buck into the main arena.
So we've seen this on 3 and 3, 3 and 4. The horses being so incredible about how they're just listening, turning, jumping. Wow.
4 and 3.
Such a scope question. And honestly, that's probably a smart way to do it, because what we're seeing is the horses jumping out in the 3 strides and then they can't make the turn.
Right.
So adding on the first so that you can get the turn done early and really ride out. Well planned. It's like he's done this before.
Not his first rodeo, is it? So up to these big, massive 2 sawmill slices over the corner. You don't really get to see the enormity of these fences. They're over a massive ditch and wall. So Galileo Numud.
Yeah.
Whoa.
I mean, I thought he was going to run out right at the first one.
The second one is set back further, isn't it, from the edge of the water, and there's very little take-off space for all these horses, but had a real look. David just clamped his right leg on and said, no, come on, we're going to go through.
Watch this again, but you can see just not
Watch that
really.
right leg.
And then again here, he was so bold to stay on that. That's earlier where we saw Harry go out and do the option, because he really didn't understand the question right away, right in front of him, as he comes around to this Maryland water.
He'll get the 11 penalties there at the maybe 15 for the missed flag. That will get reviewed by our ground jury. Up the bank, 1 stride, 2 strides down to the brushes. Galileo Numud, he's giving us a few anxious moments, isn't he, on the cross-country? David is such a superior cross-country rider. He'll be trying now to put some money back in the bank, give this horse the confidence to get home, because the majority of the big, massive questions are now behind him. He's got more to come, and it's now about just cruising home. Fastest horse, as we know, in the field on the cross-country. 1 jumping fault in his 30 international starts. And David, it's interesting because they come to the top of the hill, they get to the crab water, and it's almost like they need to take a puff.
Yeah, and it's also interesting because we've seen a few older horses and a few more experienced horses that have really picked up on the lines earlier. This is, like you said, still quite a young horse for this level, and he's really believing in his rider. And David is being very, very, very confident, showing him where the lines are, holding his hand, saying, this is where we're going, no question. And he's really answering. Here we saw a problem earlier with Emily Hamill and Corvette. Oh, and still just having that little thought right before he leaves the ground, whether, is this the right answer?
That was a superb aerial view, wasn't it, from our Clip My Horse TV camera, where you saw the horse jink, jink, and David was, nope, that's where we're going. So heading back towards the Lemure lane, this enormously wide table at the bottom of that hill needs the respect as they get to the bottom. That is at the timber beam at 23, and then the fact that was at the Trish's table. Trish, of course, was the organizer of Fair Hill for many, many years. We had a great send-off for her just a few nights ago at the crowd party.
That much left to do here, Spencer. Nope. He's got 48 seconds to get home and 3 jumps in the way of him.
2 massive owl holes. Not much room for horse and rider.
4 steps.
He ducks.
He's going to do it.
Yeah, he is.
He is going to get inside the time. He's got 1 jump left down at the bottom of the hill. He's got 30 seconds. Well inside the time. It's doable, ladies and gentlemen. Wow.
David Dole crosses the line. 24 seconds inside. That was impressive.
Amazing. And you know what's so interesting, right? And we'll see how we do here. They'll go back and review those penalties. But, you know, speaking to Ian last night, we've got the buck here, takes the left-hand side of that sunken road as he heads up to these big boxes. But time being the question, you know, they did so much work on the ground, but they were almost worried the ground got a little holding after all the water and punching. But we've had a sunny, bright day. I think that ground is now absolutely perfect. Yeah. Is he going to get this turn?
Come on.
Oh, yes. Well, we'll review that. I'm not saying yes. I have no authority here. But tons of commitment, and that's what this is about. And you can see there that Sarakaima jumped into those flags for Buck. He knew the question. It's just whether that camera angle picks it up, that he really kept both those shoulders inside the track there. But he is flying.
We will bring you news on David Dull just as soon as we have that. But Buck has been given the question mark over this fence, but we'll have another look, watching the left shoulder. I think he's okay, but we don't have that. There's that camera. You just saw a brief shot of it as he goes now onto the next fence.
Well, he is flying around, and lots of questions around here. I mean, this is why we have all these cameras and checks and double checks and double checks.
Yeah, an anxious moment, jumping right out of her hands in the main arena. Grace Taylor and Game Changer. They were held at the first horse inspection. They did a fairly good test yesterday, 34.1, lying in 14th place by the 12-year-old by Cassidy, the Dam Storm Chaser by Titus Livius, Liam Webb bred, mother Ann Taylor owns. Ann's out here. They've walked the course together. They've walked it on their own, and Grace is one of those up-and-coming riders. She rode for Great Britain for a number of years, then changed over to her mother's nationality of the USA. Buck coming to these corners, and he's going the direct route. This is a different camera angle. Jumps the first, then goes long, as Harry Mead did.
And I think that was smart. Again, you can just see the horse is not coming around the turn and really locking on the job here. It's not that much longer. It is one more jumping effort, but this horse looks full of running. I think that was the smart ride. For some reason, they're just coming around the turn, and even the most honest, genuine horses just are almost thinking that's a tree they should run by. As he heads up the hill to Mars Sustainability Bay. I was waiting for your help there, Sven.
Sorry, I thought you had it because you've had it all day.
Every now and then, we have to show we're human.
Okay, will Buck go direct? I think he will, because he knows that the turning is his problem at the moment, because Sarakaima is not being that easy to turn in. Bounces in, Buck sits up. Now comes to the step up, 1 stride to the log on the top of the bank, down 2 strides. First the angle brushes, 1 stride to the second.
So impressive. What a horse. You know, this is such an impressive ride. The horse is full of running, so genuine. Again, you kind of see some steerability issues, but the horse, as soon as he sees the jump, he's on it. And Buck was just kind of a passenger. The horse said, just hang on. I've got these brush in my eye line and I'm jumping them. This is such a huge question. You know, it doesn't give it justice from this angle, but there is just a massive ditch.
Now, we didn't see the first of those corners up at the Sawmill Slices, but we didn't know why he'd gone long, but he's been given a missed flag there as well at the first of them. So I wonder whether he's been running a little bit one way than the other, hasn't he, this horse? Whether he ran right. He's got a tack malfunction as well now going on with the breastplate that's detached from the girth. See that flapping around. Whoa, 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 whoa. You can hear Buck saying, whoa, 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 whoa.
You know, and why we put these breastplates on, why we put these running martingales on, is just to help focus. When you have a horse like this that is very, very high-headed with a lot of power, when they're galloping like that, it just helps focus. It helps tunnel the conversation, and that's where you saw Buck having a little bit of trouble there as he was dropping down the drop. The horse listened and came back to him, but then because the martingale has broken, it's just made the communication a little bit less focused.
Well, this is again a point that's been made because horse analyst type people have been saying that horses galloping with the leather flapping between their legs has taken their focus off of the rider. You've seen some riders, I've seen some riders grab it and try and tie it up to the breastplate. Four.
Nicely done. And not far off the time. You know, that I think the ground is perfect running out there. It's quicker ground than we thought it was going to be. The time is going to be gettable.
Well, there, Buck Davison, 13 seconds, and he will have 5.2 time penalties. We're heading to a break, and we'll be back very shortly here at the Mars Meriden 5-Star.
The Mars Maryland 5-Star would like to thank Mars Equestrian and the Mars family of brands for their support. Mars Equestrian, Buckeye Nutrition, Ethel M. Chocolates, Nutro, Pedigree, Antec, and Sound.
We invest in the present to raise the future. Brown Advisory, supporting the global equine community.
We'd like to thank the following partners: Maryland Department of Commerce, Maryland Department of Natural Resources, Maryland Department of Housing and Community Development, Maryland Horse Industry Board, and Maryland Department of Agriculture. The Maryland Horse Library and Education Center in Reisterstown offers a special collection of over 5,000 equine-related volumes. Monthly events include panel discussions, author talks, and book signings. Visit marylandhorse.com to learn more.
No world is truly unchanging.
This is nature at its absolute finest.
Our daughter, she's gone missing. I should leave this alone.
But you won't.
He's doing things no one had ever done before, and that is astounding.
It's absolutely mind-boggling.
Hi, I'm Ken Burns. Our next film travels outside of America and deep into the mind of the Italian visionary artist and scientist whose imagination knew no bounds. Watch Leonardo da Vinci right here on Maryland Public Television.
Well, we're back now with Lindsay Traisnell. Lindsay with Basie Rouge, 8th after dressage, jumps well through the sunken road. We just saw as well moments ago Grace Taylor having an anxious moment. The first of those Sawmill Slices, the first of the corners at 17, took the long route and on she goes up to the Mars Sustainability Bay water.
It is all going on. We've got flag penalties. We've got, she's taken the long way at the Mars Sustainability Bay. Coming around here, jumps the 3-star jump in. She's really going to every aid plus some extra ones to make sure that Game Changer knows where the game is.
And she's going to take a turn here. That's perfectly permissible because they're separately numbered. That's a D and then a separate number there. Game Changer just looking a little bit tired, a little bit weary, but this is where we've seen horses look tired, as Lindsay Traisnell and Basie Rouge jump well through the second of the waters up there at the Brown Advisory Canoe and Cascade.
Lindsay having represented Canada at the Pan American Games with this horse, as we have Allie Knowles out of the box on Mooreswood. We saw Allie fly around the 3-star this morning, so she's had her blood up all day, and we are excited to see her out on the track.
Yeah, Mooreswood is such a lovely horse, and this is a 16-year-old by Ricardo out of the mare Princess in Arms, Present Arms, the dam side. John Doherty was the breeder, owned by Catherine O'Brien. 32.4, the dressage lying in 11th place. Grace Taylor has just under a minute to get home. She's going to be a fair bit off of the optimum time of 11 minutes and 15 seconds. In fact, Grace Taylor's score has disappeared, and I understand that she has retired at fence 24.
As we see Allie coming down. Allie heading up into the main arena. We have heard word that there has been that retirement.
Yeah.
But horse and rider, okay?
Yeah, no, they're fine. They were looking a little bit tired. There we can see Grace Taylor and Game Changer. They just jumped into the ditch. They, in fact, were eliminated there. But, yeah, it was a very sad end to the day. Just tiredness slightly prevailed. Allie Knowles, though, in full steam as she goes away from the double brush on towards the first proper combination. We've seen the first combo at 3A and 3B. This, though, here in the main arena, we just saw Lindsay Traisnell go through on 4 and 4. What will Allie Knowles do? Because she's a brave girl, and this is quite a big striding horse. We go back, though, for the time being. Down the Lemure lane is Lindsay Traisnell with Basie Rouge.
So far, this has looked like a good round. Lots to come, though. These wedges and slices up at the top causing a lot of trouble. But Lindsay, actually, this is her first 5-star with this horse, which is wild because she has represented Canada at the Pan American Games. She was second in a 4-star leading up to this competition last week, and I think she's got everything to play for.
She really has. It's a lovely combination to watch. Ooh,
it's a little deep there.
That one. Come on, Lindsay. Yeah, just gets a little bit close to that one. That will wake her up. But we've got a little problem in the main arena for Allie Knowles. Allie had a stop at the third element of the main arena combination, just deciding what I think she's saying, no, I'm not carrying on. I've had an early problem. That's it. I'm done. Thanks very much. And we'll be going on. Unfortunately, Lindsay's been held just because of what happened down at the fence at the bottom of the hill with Grace Taylor and with Game Changer. So she's being held out on course, but she'll get back underway very shortly. But listen, the one rider that's been inside the time that has gone and defied Ian Stark of his...
He said maybe one.
Well,
he did say maybe one.
Said maybe one, probably none. It is, of course, Great Britain's David Dole, and he caught up with our roving reporter, Frankie.
David Dole, a little bit of trouble out there all the way around this course, proving very, very tricky, and we've seen that so far all morning. Not a lot making it back to this finish box yet, but you do prove to everybody that you can get inside this time. Talk about your ride.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't the most straightforward of rides. I really had to work for that one. Yeah, he's a phenomenal horse. Really tried to jump between all the flags for me all the way around. Yeah, it wasn't pretty at times, but he felt mega.
Well, prettier than most, we'll say so far, but anything on the track that surprised you and rode a little bit differently than according to plan?
I think just the undulations, it just really changed what stride you thought you're coming on a little bit. Feel the fences, I just got there a little bit quicker than I thought I was going to, and suddenly ended standing off a little bit. But look, he's a super athletic horse, so he just made it, he made it happen.
Well, another good cross-country round for you guys, and definitely some fact-finding going on here in the box, and we do now know that that time is going to be gettable.
Well, she might think it's gettable, but David Dole is one of the fastest in the field. I don't think we'll see anybody near that. We saw Buck Davidson just with a few time penalties, a few seconds over. It's going to be tough, though. There's Boyd Martin. Boyd, great to see him. We also saw Tiana Kudre there in the background. Boyd, after his tip-up on his first horse this morning, it was really sad to see Mo Cree, who at the second of the corners just didn't get high enough. Bubby Upton there lying in third place, Tiana Kudre, they're all talking, they're all discussing. It's nervous, anxious moments. Then you have a hold and it makes you even more nervous. Our brains are funny things.
Lindsay having a sip of water there. And again, I think if you asked anyone, would you like a hold or not, you're going to say absolutely not. It can mess up your rhythm, but it does give the horses a chance to catch their breath. Lindsay here on her horse, who known in the barn affectionately as Dreamy.
Yay! Good boys.
Got our guys out on course, making sure everything is safe and ready, and an even field of play. There's so much going on here, and we really want to make an even competition for every horse and rider that goes out, making sure that these ground rails are safe, making sure that these brushes are clear and clean. And they'll give Lindsay, they'll have stopped her time, give her a water, she can have a chat.
Yeah, there's buckets of water there. Look, you see top right of the screen. That's for if she does want to give Basie Rouge any water, he can have a drink. But it's a little bit like us drinking a bottle of water and then going to run a marathon. It can really play with us. So he probably would have had his mouth washed out, just a little bit of a rinse. But the main arena fence is also being repaired. We saw that just a second or two ago. But that was because of Ali Knowles and Morswood, who jumped right into the front of that fence, and they're now just having a little break because of that course repair going on. We know that fence at the bottom is being repaired at the Fox Catcher Flyer, and the one in the main arena is being repaired as well. In that time, we'll have a break.
The Mars Maryland 5-Star would like to thank Mars Equestrian and the Mars family of brands for their support. Mars Equestrian, Buckeye Nutrition, Ethel M Chocolates, Nutro, Pedigree, Antec, and Sound.
Maryland offers some of the nation's best schools, food, healthcare, recreation, and views. It's a lifestyle you and your employees can get behind. Every business needs balance. Find yours here in Maryland.
The Maryland Department of Natural Resources is proud to sponsor and host the Mars Maryland 5-Star at Fair Hill. Maryland state parks and natural resource areas provide ideal places to bring your family, friends, and horses. We are honored to welcome you to our trails. The Maryland Horse Library and Education Center in Reisterstown offers a special collection of over 5,000 equine-related volumes. Monthly events include panel discussions, author talks, and book signings. Visit marylandhorse.com to learn more.
This is the PBS app. It's ready for you whenever you want full episodes of your favorites, perhaps a little history, or the real story, shows with heart, or the latest news and docs. Even stream MPT Live. It's all there waiting for you, so download the PBS app now for everything you love and a whole lot more to explore. Stream anytime, anywhere with the free PBS app.
Hi, I'm Ken Burns. Our next film travels outside of America and deep into the mind of the Italian visionary artist and scientist whose imagination knew no bounds. Watch Leonardo da Vinci right here on Maryland Public Television.
We're here from the Irish Horse Board. And the role of the Irish Horse Board is to try and help people who want to buy Irish horses. As you know, they're the best in the world for the sport of eventing, so it's very appropriate that we would come here to Maryland. What we're trying to do is make it very easy for people to come into Ireland and purchase Irish horses. I think we have a really good system in Ireland for producing young horses. It's very natural. They're ready to go when they come over to the state. They're perfect horses for the sport of eventing. And I think that's, it's an easy task to try and promote these horses because they do the job themselves. They do the talking themselves. They come from a tradition of thoroughbred cross to our traditional Irish draft horse. And it has progressed now that we infuse a little bit of warm blood as well. So you get extra movement and extra scope. But we retain that, as you say, USP of the good genetics. I would like to think that we might follow up on Austin's superb win last year, and that has reverberated around the world. So hopefully we can do it again with an Irish horse this year. If the Irish horse can do it, that would be fantastic, and welcome more American visitors over to Ireland to buy their next champion.
Well, back underway, Lindsay Tresnell and Basie Rouge. She's coming up to that influential fence now.
This is such a partnership. She's ridden this horse since it was 4 years old. If anybody's going to get it done, it's going to be this combination. Yeah. She's making sure Dreamy is ready, knows that business has got to get done here.
Yeah, so Lindsay coming to the first of those corners. Basie Rouge, first 5-star. Oh, jumps out to the side.
And again, just doesn't quite lock onto it. So unfortunate there. Really causing problems all around the course. As she heads over for this option, quite a long ways around. You jump that little table, you turn back around and jump the 2 little tables on the way out. It's just a really long route. You could see there that Lindsay had decided that she wanted to try the first route. She's here at the 5-star to be competitive, and when you're going to be competitive, you're going to have a mistake every now and then. Difficult to be held there, to lose the steam and then have to start right back on that. But away we go. There's still a lot of jumps left to be jumped. And the way this is turning out, if you can have a quick round with just a 20, you might be okay. You could probably make it in the top 10.
Yeah, Lindsay with that 20 penalties on her cards. But it's all about getting round, and we knew it was going to be tough. We knew the time was going to be tight. We've still got lots of question marks over flag issues. She's going long, sensible riding. You've already had one problem. Now going to come and jump the 3-star direct route into the water.
Big jump in. She looks like she's going long again.
Yeah.
The horse has caught his breath. He stood still for about 5 minutes down there, so she's going to have a bit of time and be out there for a little bit longer with all these long routes, but it's almost like she's starting a new course. So here she's just taking care of Dreamy, wanting to get the completion, not another 20 on this round. She's still navigating her around. This is the part that's so complex, is that, you have to walk the direct route. You have to think and think and think and think about the direct route, but then you need to know all your other options. And up at that top water, there are about 5 different ways you can navigate that without getting penalties. But you have to be careful not to cross your tracks when the jumps are not numbered separately. She's flying down the hill. She'll have this big log and then turn down to the ditch brush, which caught out Game Changer.
Yeah, Grace Taylor, who sadly jumped into the face of that fence. Okay. Just a little bit of a wriggly line down to that fence.
When it just,
and the hand goes up, and that's very sad for Lindsay Tresnell and Basie Rouge.
Unfortunately, I think just switched off a little bit in the time down. Looked so great in the beginning, but unfortunately just not locking on.
You see him here, just here, goes wriggly, wriggly, wriggly. Nah, thanks.
Yeah, and I mean, it's really hard.
He shakes his head, says no.
These are big jumps that need to be jumped, and it sounds wild, but there is a certain amount of adrenaline, there is a certain amount of pumping up and your blood going that you need for that bravery to get locked on, for that focus. And unfortunately, sometimes when you have that pause in the middle that just goes down just a little bit, and these jumps look a little bigger and a little harder, and you think, I'd like to save this for another day. So we have Boyd trotting around on commando on the start box down there. This a really beautiful horse. I believe this is his first 5-star.
Yep.
He did win the 4-star long at Tryon last year. He was second at the 4-star short at Kentucky. Flew to Paris as a reserve for Boyd at the Olympic Games and is here to win.
Here to win. He was the winner in 2021, the inaugural running of the Mars Maryland 5-star presented by Brown Advisory. On the wonderful On Cue was then Tim Price in 2022 with Coupe de Coeur du Devin. Then last year, Ireland's Austin O'Connor put to bed 58 years of wait for another 5-star win with Colorado Blue. He created history. This year, there's going to be a new name on the trophy. Horse-wise, that is for sure. We have no returning horses to win the 5-star, but this man could put his name back on the trophy with Commando. First 5-star, it's going to be a big question for this horse. He is a very talented horse. He's got the man in the saddle that is so confident with them. 11 years old by Connor 48, the dam sire Amigo. Yochin Siepka was the breeder. Yankee Creek Ranch own. Dressage scored 28.5, lying in 7th place. Now, Boyd, don't let the adrenaline go to your head, because he's made a few silly mistakes at the beginning of this Maryland 5-star in the past. So, just coming now to the third. First question, but in 5-star cross-country terms, it's a fair...
Oh, gosh.
And I just said exactly the same again. Hits the top, doesn't make the back rail, and there is a very wet Boyd Martin. Commando.
Oh, you could hear that the air vest. You heard it go. You know, that does create a bit of a cushion on landing. You know, I'm sorry. I apologize for my gasp. But
well,
he just didn't.
I think it was granted.
You know, it's just such a beautiful horse, and he came around. Horses up and fine, no problem. Obviously, hopefully a bit of a softer landing for Boyd. There was water there, and you heard the vest go, but a little slow to get up. Rough day for Boyd. You know, it's so tricky. He is in the gym. I know. I follow Boyd very a lot on social media, and I know everything that he does.
Yeah, there he is walking away.
Yeah.
Good to see
and
Boyd walking away.
He is in his downstairs gym at 5 o'clock in the morning working out. He has his personal guru with him here that has got him mentally fit and sound right there. You've got a picture of him.
He's amazing. I did have my picture taken within a plantation field.
Silva with him, making sure everything's okay. I mean, his kids are here. They've been out in the kids' corner, and see him just untucking his slightly wet shirt, and we're all just so honestly so thankful to see him up, to see him.
And the fact that they were down there at fence 3 as well. It's not a usual place for them to stand, is it? But they would have been near a big screens. That's what they would have been watching. But Silva there, along with the most amazing man. I've got his number in my phone. He said, "Give me a ring, Spenny." There is Kohler and Bubby Upton. Bubby is pinned by ERC ratings. She's risen up 9% to take this title. Mybaum and Tammy Smith, former 5-star winners. It's theirs for the taking, but Bubby is a very talented girl. She's medalled at junior young riders. She has ridden the 5-stars. She's yet to win one. This young lady would dearly love to do so.
You know, and there's something about that fight and that youth that you need. You know, you need that bravery going out on this course so far. It's been a tricky track. We all knew it. Nobody walked this and thought, you know, Ian's gone a bit soft. You know, it's a big, bold track, and the problems have been spread throughout. There's not just one bogey fence. There's been issues spread throughout. We see Boyd up there again with Silva. Like we said, so disappointing, but he's healthy. He's fine. He'll be back to fight another day. And maybe later today. We'll see how he feels about tester leg going out later this afternoon. But right now, it's all about this lady on Cola. She gives him a pat. She knows this horse so well. And she wouldn't have put the horse on the plane to fly across an ocean if she didn't feel pretty confident.
No, she wouldn't. She's had huge amount of support from the Howden Way, along with our presenting sponsors here at the Mars Maryland 5-Star. They have been brilliant. Just incredible support from Brown Advisory as well. And without them, she couldn't have done it. You know, with her team, with her mother, the owner, Rachel Upton, Bubby, with this lovely, lovely 14-year-old by Kotoki, Vanessa, the dam Contender, the dam sire. Holsteiner in breeding, but Contender in there. You know, there's some real class. And Bubby is a very hungry girl. She's ridden some brilliant, brilliant horses in her very young career. She was very ill, well, not very ill. She had a very bad fall, which ended up in hospital. She had to learn to walk again. She had to learn to do everything again. I remember the first time she came out of hospital. I remember the first time she got back on a horse. She cried. And that's what it means, this young lady. We've all been there. We've all had those terrible accidents and terrible falls. Well, most of us have to have ridden up through the levels. But she is nothing but tough, as a lot of these riders are. Will we see Boyd back with sets of leg? I hope so. I really do. It looked a fairly soft fall, but we never know. So let's keep our fingers crossed. Quick look at the leaderboard, though. Thus far, it is David Dole who still carries the 30 for 2 missed flags, 64.5. Emily Hamill second, Corvette 69.0. Buck Davidson, Sorakaima, he also carrying penalties. They're under investigation at the moment. He sits third. And LCC Barnaby, Lillian Hurd Wood in fourth on a score of 109.6. So Bubby Upton is getting herself back up into some sort of cross-country mode, getting the adrenaline going again before she heads back to the start box. Once those penalties have been reviewed, we will, of course, let you know.
Absolutely. And, you know, that's the thing. I think what we're seeing is that they're awarding the penalties now. They'll go back and review. But as you can tell watching this, things are coming thick. They're coming fast. The ground jury need to keep their attention on what is happening now and then go back and review those penalties. So like Spencer said, we'll let you know as we find out. But now it's all about this lady about to go into the start box. She's been cool walking around. She's now getting the blood up, like you said, a little bit. You know, it's an important and difficult thing to manage, this warm-up. It's an 11 minutes and 15-second track. That is if you make the time. Yeah. And so you don't want to waste the horse in warm-up, but you need to get them warmed up enough that their brain gets switched on, their body gets switched on, because like we talked about, the first water where Boyd just had his fall is at the first minute. Yep. You know, it really starts
3
happening
fences,
quick.
1 minute.
Absolutely.
Second minute in the main arena, you know, with one fence in between. Then it starts coming thick and fast. The questions start coming. Bubby Upton into the start box. Countdown is underway. And she's on course. So Great Britain's Bubby Upton with Mother Rachel Upton's Cola leaves the start box. They won the very good 4-star short class at the recent Hartbury International in the UK.
No, it's great to see these partnerships. Again, we had some newer horses at the level, but this horse, this rider, great partnership, been together for so long. And when you're going out, that's what you want. When you want to know what they're going to look at, what they're going to see, what they're going to think, you want to feel that. And so I'm excited to watch this girl tackle the course. We need a good run to get all of our confidence back up, and I think this is a lady that can deliver it.
Yeah, let's keep our fingers crossed. She could stay in third place if she goes clear. If she goes inside the time, she will certainly go to the top of the leaderboard, but that time we know is pretty difficult to get. Now that's where Commando just clipped the back of that very wide table oxer, and as the horse clipped the top, that's what then caused the knuckle and the eventual fall at that fence. But great to see them both walk away. The vets were there very quickly, the medics were there very quickly. Horse welfare, rider welfare is paramount. Cola is Prick. Coming now to the Buckeye double brush oxer at 4.
you know, watching this horse's expression. I mean, this is the horse you want to be sitting on. It's a smart horse. Look at that. Superman. But, you know, the horses can understand, they can read, they can place themselves to the fences. And when you have a horse like this that's got such an intelligent look about him, he's got a big uphill gallop, you feel like you're doing this together. It's not a rider telling the horse what to do. It's a partnership. And watching this horse study the jumps, that's what you want to be sat on.
Yeah. Well, as she comes up this chute into the main arena, we will get a glimpse of her any second now from our commentary position in the corner of the main arena. And here she comes, grit, determination written all over her face. Kohler, Bubby Upton, Great Britain make the turn. Will she go 3 and 3? Will she go 4 and 3? Will she go 3 and 4? 3. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh.
And just had to really close down for that fourth stride.
You know, but she really trusted Kohler. She just sat chilly, trusted the scope. You can see that this horse has got scope for 6 stars. So she could believe in that, even though that's a massive brush and she was on a short distance, she could believe and just let him jump up and wrap around it, which was actually quite easy on the horse. Some of the horses coming in on that 3, it's a big reach. But here, just letting him steady, just letting him focus, and that's going to be what's required to get the horses around, is letting the horses study.
David Dole's penalties have been taken away. Clear inside the time. He completes on 34.5. He is the score to beat. Never won a 5-star. Could it be here? This lady will want her own 5-star. 2, 3, 4.
Easy. Beautifully done there. You know, encouraging the horse, giving the horse a pat.
Just disappearing then from the double of rails at 6AB. That's just past their 3-minute marker. Now it's 7ABCD. This is the sunken road. The Yanmar sunken road at 7. A real test of gymnastic athleticism.
4 of those are coming up right now.
So the log, the bounce, the one stride, the bounce.
Yeah, really, really nice. You know, and I've watched this combination a couple of times, and right now I'm going to say she's riding with a level of maturity and calmness maybe haven't seen as much. This looks very, very impressive. This girl is a fighter. I've watched her go out on course and make things happen. But it seems here like the maturity is coming in, the belief, the trust, and they're just really right now making this look so beautiful.
Yeah, aren't they? Met that on a beautiful stride. Just came around the corner, rolled down. No change in rhythm, no change in the way Bubby rode, and it just was super, super to watch. Now to this fence that we haven't seen. It is the water, in, over, little reminder, 3, 4.
Beautiful. And again, such a perfect timing. You could see that she stayed soft in her arm, soft in the rein, while still going to her stick in a perfect quick timing. So come on, you've got this, but never distracting the horse from what he was looking at. What do you want the horse thinking about when you're going to the jump? The jump.
Forward. Yeah, and again, there's been studies that have said, you know, hitting a horse on the shoulder when you're in the show jumping or, you know, things like that when you're going cross country, is it makes their eye go back. But she did it as she took off to encourage him to go forwards and to get on with the job in hand. Tiana Coudray is away. Now, Tiana has, she's been over in the UK. She's done so much eventing in the UK, and she's been with the likes of Bombadil Equestrian, who supported her run. This is why, you know, we're seeing so many Americans go to Europe and to compete in Europe. Tiana Coudray is another of those, and it's great to see the support that they get when they are over. Alyssa Phillips was another of them, but the transition for the upcoming riders, and they're really shining. Cassie Sanger, another of them, placed at Bramham, and all of the development squad that are forming that came over to the UK and into Europe earlier on under Leslie Law training, and the exchange going to Europe. It's really important for mileage. Cosby Green, base with the prices. Jenny Carras, another.
Oh, that pin just comes down.
And that was a worry of ours, wasn't it?
Yes, and interestingly enough, we saw 2 horses earlier hit it with their hind legs, whereas he actually really did get it with the front and then with the hind legs. Again, safety, hugely important. Those rails and pins do need to come down, and we all know that at some point we're probably going to be...
Oh, just bank that. It's suddenly, from that moment, the rail, and it's not separately numbered. Oh, it is separately numbered, I think, that corner, isn't it? So she could do that. So she should be carrying the 11 penalties for the rail that she had at the Coffin. That was at the Irish Horseboard Coffin question. Then down to the Cecil County barricades and the corner. The corner is 14, and the big barricades are 13AB.
So separately numbered there as we see Tiana heading into the ring, into the arena for this big question up here. I believe Tiana had a really fabulous finish with this mare at Badminton.
Yeah, Kankara's girl. And again, with Bombadil Equestrian, they supported a good clinic. What on earth happened there? And the Project Pony Plus, they have had so much going on.
They're just funny.
Well, what on earth happened there?
I'm not really sure. I think Tiana's thinking the same thing.
That's why I asked you. Now she's looking out to the left. Tiana's hand is going to go up. She's going to retire. Kankara's girl is not playing ball today.
No, I mean,
Tiana just shaking her head there.
No, good for her to come back around, jump those two things, and say this is just too far around if we're not on the same page. And I think that was surprising for all of us. She came around the turn, the big brush is there. She's already jumped into the water. She's already jumped some big tables. And Kankara's girl just said, I'm not playing today. So good for her. Save it for another day. Long trip. Disappointing walk home.
Yeah.
But here we have Bubby Upton with 52.7 on the card there. So it looks like she's gotten the 11. She's been given a 20. Am I right?
Well, she's been given an 11 and she's been given a 15. That was for the...
rail.
No, so the 11 came at the rail. 15 came for a missed flag at the corner.
Here she's coming around to the option. You know, again, looked maybe like there was just a little bit of discussion about which way we were going. Cola seemed to get a little bit confused there, too, about where she was heading to. But challenging, still heading up the track here, doing a great job, making it up as she goes at times, which is honestly what you have to do at the 5-star level sometimes.
So all the 5 stars this year have been won by mares. Kankara's girl is not going to make it 6. We've got Bronte Beach left. Is the only other mare in the field with Emma Klugman. She's on a 35.6. Our current leader 34.5, and she's going to go direct. Brave girl.
Super shot. Wow. You know, I mean, the thing is that she's flown all the way over here. She's had a pin here, a flag there, but she's going to get every bit of experience, every bit of learning. You know, you're never going to be able to school a question like that. So she's here getting it done on the track, building on the resume, building on the knowledge. And, I mean, that was top class.
Well, here's Tammy Smith. This is where it's going to get really interesting. Tammy with My Baum. My Baum, dressage 25.3. Leaders after the first phase. Kentucky winners last year. Can she make it a second 5-star win with this horse? She created history when she won Kentucky. It's been a long time coming for the Americans at Kentucky, but she did it. And can she make it the first girl to win the 5-star here at the Mars, Maryland?
Well, on Q1.
First girl rider.
There we go. You know, Tammy's one of the toughest in the sport. Been to the World Championships on this horse, jumped around Aachen on this horse, like you said, won the 5-star at Kentucky. They are a partnership through and through, and I think all fingers, toes, everything are crossed for this pair. Woo! And that is a move we see Lexus do often. He kind of has this leap that he can do and just get up to the base of the jumps and hop over them. So beautiful yesterday on the flat. Tammy's been out on the 3-star course twice today, sharpening up her eye, getting her fierce on, and I spoke to her last night. She said it's going to be hard to make time, but I'm going to give it everything that I have, and why wouldn't you? She's put in years and years and years. This partnership is fantastic.
My Baum, who really impressed us in the dressage yesterday, was the out-and-out standout test. 18-year-old by Lordano, as Bubby Upton has one fence left to jump. She's only just over the time. It's been a great round for this young rider, and Kohler pops the Scotty finale.
You know, she's still fighting for that time, and a 50.5 on this day. I mean, she could be a podium finisher.
Yeah, 32 seconds over. That incurs 12.8 time penalties. She, at the moment, could go better because, remember, she's got a missed flag or a 20 and the 11. The 11 will stay, but she could have some penalties taken off. Here comes Tammy Smith, My Bam, into the main arena. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3.
And you can see that she planned a little bit like Buck. She came in to the A question actually jumping out a little bit so she could add the stride and keep turning around. So cleverly planned there so that it was just a little bit easier. Sometimes longer and leaving a stride out is actually not faster when you have this turning question. It also will help set up for the adjustability that she needs down here at these turning rails.
Bubby Upton's score has been updated. She's on, in fact, those penalties have been taken away. So it is just the broken device, the frangible pin. She does complete on 50.5. She goes second, 23.8 in total, with the 12 and the 11. 12.8 time, and with the 11 for the broken pin.
Super ride there for Tammy. Galloping up the hill now. She'll head to the Yanmar Sunken Road, which, knock on wood, has ridden much better in the 5-star than it did in the 3-star this morning. All the tailgaters up there getting such a good shot. Beautiful day out here, and it is all going on at Maryland 5-star.
The 4th edition of the Mars Maryland 5-star.
Great shot.
My Baum.
Beautiful.
Yeah, beautiful, wasn't it? I mean, you see him jump through there. He's 18 years old. He looks like, as she said, he felt like a 10-year-old in the dressage. He's looking, belying his years.
You know, light on the runs this fall, and that could really work in his favor. You know, he won a 4-star earlier in March and then was prepping for Paris, had a little niggle that kept him out of the mix there. She did 1 OI, and here she is. She said, I know the horse. I've prepped the horse. I'm prepared with the horse. This is how we roll. Yeah, she won the 4-star short in Temecula, and then straight off to one OI run, as you say, and then to a 5-star of this magnitude. And knowing, a lot of these riders knew it was going to be big because it was Ian Stark's swan song. Coming up to the big water, this is the Brown Advisory canoe. Amazing.
Yeah, lovely. That canoe in Cascade at 9AB. She goes on to the Flying Scot at 10. Of course, Flying Scot was Ian Stark's nickname cross country. He was known as a Flying Scot. He was always fast, especially with his greys in Glen Burnie. Murphy himself, amongst others. And down at the start, leaving the start box. Our next to go. And this is the one we've been waiting for. It is Oliver Townend for Great Britain, Ballamore class. 3-time 5-star winner. He's got 8 5-star wins under his belt already. He's finished 3rd here twice, 2nd here back in 2021. He'd dearly love to break the ducks back and get a win. Thomas, as he's known, 17 years old, 2nd after dressage on 28.5. Interestingly that these two are following each other in Tammy Smith and Oliver Townend. It's going to be a really, really exciting next 12 to 14 minutes. By Courage, the 2nd, Kildare Place, the Dam, bred by Noel Hickey, Karen Shooter, Angela Hislop and Val Ryan own. And he's had an amazing career with this horse. The 3 5-star wins, along with that team gold that he won in the Tokyo Olympic Summer Games. Tammy Smith, my
fantastic.
Baum.
And the footwork there, I mean, that is, you're good, girl. And, you know, that's the footwork that we know this horse for. It just pauses in the air, holds one leg up, make sure he knows where he's at as she comes to these big boxes that, turning to the corner, that gets a little deep there. No big deal. That'll probably work out for her.
2, 3, 4, 5.
Amazing. On it.
Lost the stirrups,
Okay.
got a stirrup back.
You know, getting nice and deep underneath that first one, really carved out those lines, made the 5 work really easy. You know, amazing, Spencer. We probably have 2 of the best horses in the world,
Yeah,
of course, right now.
I agree. You know, Ballamore Class and My Baum, 4 5-star wins between them. And then it's not over, because we've got another 5-star winner coming, and that is Tim Price. Tim, who has won here. Falco, who has not won here, but has won a 5-star in Poe. Oliver Townend is coming into the main arena. Here he is, Ballamore Class. Ooh, 1, 2, 3, have to go on the 4. 1, 2, 3, he'll have to go on the 4 again. Just didn't, I don't think he reacted how Oliver thought he would going to that fence. There's a lot to look at. They're jumping straight into the VIP area. Thomas is, of course, hugely experienced. He's won 3 5s. He's been an Olympic gold medalist, although it was a very quiet Olympics in Tokyo 2021. But we're back with Tammy Smith and My Baum now at the fence before the 2 sawmill corners.
So we'll get a look at her here. Here's where we've seen some of the terrain starting to catch up on the horses. We've seen the horses looking a little bit tired. So as we move up here, My Baum is looking fabulous at the bottom of the hill. Tammy, ultimate professional. She's been dead on so far, so we will see how they take on the slices.
It will be really interesting. We've got 2 very, very experienced horses. And even there, Tammy's just given My Baum a little bit of a reminder coming up to that question. She turns. Gives a little smack down the right shoulder. He'd already gone, hadn't he?
Yeah. I think she felt that coming up the hill, and that's where she ended up going to the stick, because she just felt him switch off a little bit.
There goes the hand. That's devastating to see, heartbreaking. My Baum in his last 5-star sadly doesn't bow out as she would have wanted. Ballamore Class.
Just getting so deep and so tight here. You know, it's really interesting. You know, we kind of saw the same thing happen with Harry's horse, looking fabulous at the beginning of the track, and then just that pull up the hill, just getting to them a little bit. And you could see My Baum coming around the turn and just not recovering the way that we would have hoped.
No.
And Tammy felt that and gave it one crack and then said, you know, this is not where we're not gonna try this again. And ultimate professional, just like Harry, put the hand up.
And as you've said, you know, between 9 and 10 minutes are the biggest pulls, and this is when the horses are starting to get tired, but there's not really any recovery space. After they've climbed the hills, there's a fence, the same as we saw in the 3-star for the horses going to the Mars Sustainability Bay. This is Oliver Townend coming to the second water.
And this just riding perfectly. You know, there was so much concern about that. And I asked Ian what he thought about it. And I said, has that ever been done before? And he said, yeah. Did you talk to Lucinda? We had a few of those back in my day, in her day.
So funny.
All right, then. But Oliver won't have known that Tammy has had those problems, so he is not going to take the foot off the throttle. He's going to make sure he comes home with as few penalties as possible. Searching for that.
26.5 is the score that Oliver Townend has. 34.5 is the leading score. That's David Dole, clear inside the time. He was 24 seconds inside the time. There goes Joe Meyer and Harbin. Joe, who rides this lovely grey, owned by Gay Meyer, John Meyer, Teresa Foote and wife Ruth, along with Joe himself. Bred by the Arley Studs. Grey by Verglas out of the mare Rainbow City by Rainbow Quest. 43.7 is their starting score, lying in 23rd place.
So this thoroughbred horse, does almost the same thing as Boyd's, just tips a little bit, recovers a little bit quicker there. This horse, so fun to watch with Joe, little and scrappy, just like his old 5-star horse Snip. Back to Oliver. Oh, big 2 down the line there. We've only seen that in 3 strides so far, but he just stays on the line, commits to it, and goes. I don't think he was counting. He was just looking at those flags.
And just steadying down, interestingly, coming to these massive fences, which are the big, very, very large barricades, and then the corner.
Wow.
Thomas is on flying form, isn't he?
Yeah.
Ballamore Class has got his A game on, and so has Mr. Townend.
You know, same thing happened a little bit for him at those boxes as Tammy. I think you saw him plan to reel it in, do the 4 strides there, because the 3 is really shooting people off.
Yeah.
And he waited and then still ended up on the 4 on the way out, but really committed, jumped through those lines. And like David Doyle had said, it's not always pretty, but the horses are staying on it and understanding.
But this is where the climb starts. This is at the bottom of the hill. Now we're going from minute 9 to minute 10 up to those corners. Then they turn away and continue to climb up to the Mars Sustainability Bay right at the top of the hill. And they're still climbing here. They make a slight right and a slight left turn. Still climbing.
You know, and that's where you wonder if the word's getting back a little bit, if a little later on when we see some horses that are maybe less experienced, if we'll see them go ahead and take the option and not even attempt that first corner. Let the horses nip through those 3 combinations there, catch their breath.
Clear's got a lot to
Clear's
say,
got a lot to
hasn't it?
say. Absolutely.
I mean, Ballamore Class, he is one of the best cross-country horses in the world.
He looks great right now.
Doesn't he?
Yeah.
And Oliver will have got him very fit. The team at home would have got him very fit as well. But Oliver, great judge of character, and he gets on with this horse very well. I think he'll probably jump the first one. He's never one to go the long routes, Ollie. Will he jump the first one and then... I think he's going to go long. Yeah.
It's not that much time.
No, it's not, and it's safer. I was going to say he'll jump the first and go long. I don't know whether that was his first plan, probably not, but the way Thomas jumped it was unexpected. It was a little bit uncharacteristic, the way that he did jump that fence. Discretion, better part of valor, go long.
Absolutely. And the horse looks good. You know, we talked about it earlier, coming up this climb, you're not going to push on the horses. You're not going to charge up the hill. You're going to let them find their own balance, let them get up the hill, jump the Sustainability Bay at the top, then catch their breath coming back down in that 10th minute. Comes up to the top. Look at the crowds are really running over to see this as he goes straight. We see him turning into the bounces. Stretches up.
Beautifully in. Come on, Ollie. Whoa.
I think everybody was holding their breath.
I think they were. He took a stride out coming down there, didn't he? Coming down that bank.
I think he did the 2 to the 1, but he was quite at the end of his rein there. Pretty impressive, and that shows the experience, right? I mean, these horses know the job. At this point in time, this horse knows he's meant to go in between those 2 flags. He trusts his rider, right? And at that point, Ollie really had no point other than to trust his horse because he was at the end of the rein.
Come on, Tom. Look at this ditch. Look at that ditch.
That's an awesome shot.
Massive. That is the best shot we've seen of that fence. Ballamore Class is looking like he has plenty left in the tank, doesn't he? He comes up the hill now to what is the big combination, the Fairhill International roller coaster and drop. Slowing them down again, Scotty, isn't he? As they make the turn to the roller coaster, then the Fairhill step down to drop. 2 fences at the bottom. Gets very close to first. Ollie then sits quietly and waits for the cheese wedge.
I don't think he has enough time to get home on the clock. I think it's going to be a matter now of how many time penalties.
Yeah, he's got 43 seconds to get home from here. He's got this fence. He's got the 2 owl holes. Unlike the 3-star, you keep moving a little bit further and a little bit more, but he's only got 30 seconds. He's just given Ballamore Class a little tap down the shoulder saying, come on, mate, dig deeper for me. We were talking about that earlier, you know, at the 3-star level, knowing what you've got, how deep will they dig, how much will they get into the reserve tank. 13 seconds, 12 seconds. It's going to be a few time penalties. It's not going to be many for Oliver Townend for Great Britain as he pops through these very, very narrow little owl holes.
So creeping up, and it's just a matter, can he stay ahead of David Doyle? 30.9, 31.3. He'll stop the clock. 31.3.
Yeah, he's gone into the lead. Oliver Townend has done what he set out to do, and that was to jump clear. That was to go to the top of the leaderboard if he could, because he has been here every year since the inaugural running back in 2021. He's been third twice. He's been second. There's Karen Shooter, part owner of Ballamore Class. She runs to the horse first. She says, doesn't matter about the rider.
There's our vet, Dr. Jan Hendrickson, checking on Oliver, making sure he's caught his breath.
Ollie can still breathe.
Yeah, he was going to go to the horse, and now he's running up to make sure that the horse, Oliver, says, I'm good, go check on my man.
11 minutes and 27 seconds. That gives him 12 seconds over the optimum time, incurring on the cross country 4.8 time penalties, the second fastest of the day. Goes into the lead with only one that can go ahead of him, and that is Falco and Tim Price, who come in a couple of horses' time. Well, in fact, it is Emma Klugman. Emma, she had a dressage 35.6. She's out on course with Bronte Beach, another mare, 12-year-old mare by Verdi. Chopin, the dam sire, Bronte Beach Syndicate own, and she is dropping herself down towards these two very, very upright rails, the Hunt Cup rails.
Yeah, and she looked fabulous into the main arena there.
2, 3, 4. Ooh,
oh,
it does stay there.
Yeah.
Joe Meyer now with Harbin up at the influential fence. Another one.
Right past it.
Now, will Joe put his hand up? I think Harbin is looking a little bit fresher than some we've seen, and he will now go the long route. We haven't seen anybody jump this long route at the first part. Then he's got two fences to jump at the A and B of the second of the corners. So he goes all the way around now. It's a country mile all the way around to the long route. But Harbin... yeah, beautifully through there. And he'll put those 20, and as you said, 20 penalties. What's that? You know?
What's that? What's that?
It's been a very influential cross-country course. We knew it would be. The crowd have enjoyed some top-class and some high-class competition, that's for sure. Watching these wonderful horses out on the cross-country. And they're making their turn down towards this big oxer. And it's a massive oxer. Bronte Beach, Emma Klugman. 34.5, 35.6 the dressage. Jenny Brannigan will be next out with Twilight's Last Gleam. Horse that she's had a great deal of success with. Couldn't run last year after her fall in the 3-star. It's Emma with the mare. Yeah, they just haven't. Not one horse blinked at the water.
No.
Oh, there's Joe Meyer. He's pulled up with Harbin. He's decided to retire. That's a very sad sight to see.
But there'll be a lot of people up at the bar tonight, Spencer.
They will. There will be a lot of people at the bar. Oh, Emma Klugman. Another one, there's a drop on that landing. It's a big wide fence, Pardubice type fence with a ditch in front, and then the landing just caught the mare out there at the Magna Wave. Magna Wave have been so supportive in our daily pulse as well, the 3-2-1, and they're jumping that fence there. The mare's just gone a little bit green on her.
I would say actually she made a good choice there because she patted the ground and wrapped around it the time before she nearly toppled when she got so brave. So.
And here comes Jenny Brannigan. Jenny with Twilight's Last Gleam. This is a lovely 14-year-old girl leading my national anthem out of the mare Royal Child, bred and owned by Nina Gardner. Nina and Tim Gardner, who've been great supporters of Jenny's.
And This is one fast lady. She knows this horse inside and out. Graduate of the Young Horse program here in the United States. I think the winner of the 4 or the 5-year-olds, I can't remember off the top of my head. I'm sure somebody will send that in. But has been flying around, and she is coming out here to make the time.
To the rails. Jumps the rails, the mare up to the bank. She'll go left.
That's, I think, as nice as we've seen anyone do it. You know, almost all of them have tapped that rail coming in, and Bronte Beach just really clever over the top there.
I think we've only seen it go once, haven't we, with Bubby and Cola.
And again, stuffing in that 4th stride.
5.
Nice job. And it's interesting because those tables are so massive that when you walk that distance, it walks in quite a strong 3, and the tables are so big, but the horses really jump up and around, and they don't jump out. So that 4th curve is happening very easily because the horses are jumping up and not jumping out, which is making it a softer turn to that corner.
And we were there for quite a long time.
Trying to...
How are we getting 4? How are we getting 4? How wide do we have to go? And again, that's walking fences over and over and over again. Jenny Brannigan, Twilight's Last Gleam in the main arena.
Nice ride. Very committed there. You know, it's tricky, that turn, because you really are just almost on a 20-meter circle jumping these massive questions, and the horses really just have to follow a feel, listen to the horse. Jenny charging down the outside line here. Last year, like you had said, she had some trouble down at the rails in the 3-star, but here she has been looking forward all year to getting this horse out on the track here. He's very fast, and this is his day to shine. She had such a fabulous run around Kentucky. Bred and owned, as you said, by Nina Gardner.
Well, 5 horses left to go. On this, the Rupert Landscape Cross Country Day of the Mars Maryland 5-star, presented by Brown Advisory. That'll be a relief to get that fence out of the way.
And it's been jumping so well. I really thought that was going to cause a little bit more trouble, just because the horses can't really see it coming. But the horses have been so rideable. But I think that goes to show how the level has just come up so much. The dressage has come up so much. The rideability has come up so much. The technicality has come up so much. That's just an easy exercise here at the 2.5 minute on the course.
That mare jumped that. Probably one of the best we've seen.
Totally. And she was always planning to come around in here, go long. It was never a question. But really super ride here for Emma. 2nd 5-star. Really empathetic riding there. You can see her not chasing the mare away, just reminding her there to stay in front of her leg. There's still a bit to do, but letting her make her way up the hill as we're back to Jenny, who is having a serious go.
Yeah, as Jenny Brannigan comes down to the DuBarry Oxer. It's a very big Oxer on a frangible device down there at the bottom of the bottom of the valley. But look, we've had a brilliant day. We want to hear exactly what's going on out there on the cross country. Jenny Brannigan is moving on up to this water. Let's just watch her through here, because this is we thought it was going to be more influential than it was. We're in fact going to watch Emma Klugman coming up to the Mars water.
Sit up, sit up.
Oh, she's gone.
Oh, no.
She's gone.
Oh, no.
Oh, I don't believe it. That is such a sad sight to see. Emma Klugman pops out the side, couldn't quite get back in the saddle after the first of those brushes. Tim Price is away with Falco, the only one that could go ahead of Oliver Townend. And talking of Oliver Townend, let's hear what he had to say. He's with Frankie.
Ollie, wow, I mean, what a round. It's been quite a day here of cross country, and you've been around the biggest tracks in the world with this horse. This one you've added now to that as well of your accolades, but what was it like out there?
Yeah, it's a 5-star. For me, it's right up there with Badminton, Burley, Kentucky. For the others, they're in a level less. This is the top of the sport, and it's not easy. I was trying to look after him all the way, and I've ended up being a little bit slow because of it, but I was trying to play a percentage game. I was told if I was ahead of schedule up at the skinny over the water to go long afterwards, and I was ahead. And then I just wanted to save all the way up to the main water where he was incredible. And then I've not been that brave with him. I've looked after him all the way home because, you know, we know what he's done, and he's, you know, special. So.
Well, you guys definitely rely on your partnership, and we have seen one of the most tremendous partnerships in the history of the sport in the two of you, and you rely on that again today all the way home. As you said, you take care of him, he takes care of you, but it's going to be enough to top the leaderboard for now. There's just one man, and it's going to be Tim Price, who can sneak ahead of you, and can he do it with Falco? We're going to find out, but what a day at the office for you yet again. Congratulations.
Thank you. It's always Tim.
He said that with love.
Tim, he did say it with love. He was texting me last night. I'd said he won 7 5-stars. He went, Spenny, it's 8. And I said, damn it, because Kentucky wasn't on the 2024 list of his accolades. So that was my fault again. But Tim Price, yes, he has won here back in 2021 with 2022, of course, with the wonderful.
Wow, he's very fast.
Dudevant. But Falco is a very fast horse. Owned by Sue Benson. Sue, of course, was a former designer, cross-country course designer of the Mullen horse trials. She has designed Olympics. She designed the London 2012 Olympics. She was runner-up at Badminton when she was eventing. She's a very, very lovely lady. She's here with her husband, and she's been a great supporter of Tim's. Janelle at the Young Horse Championships at Le Lion d'Angers. That's going, well, in fact, that's finished cross-country today. We're now in the evening in France. But Tim Price sets out with the wonderful Falco, 15-year-old by Cardinio.
Here we have Jenny coming to these very, very influential corners. She's going straight.
Another one to take the flag, and she, again, quick thinking, was she the right side of it? She kicked the flag out, which it looks to me, she will know, it looked to me like she jumped the wrong side of it. But it'll be interesting to see, well, we won't see, but it'll be interesting to know what happens with that with the review.
So interesting. Last year we saw so many horses. They switched that up a bit, but there were 2 double corners there last year, and we saw so many horses just really struggle at that part of the course as well. I think the question, as well as the fitness ask, as we see Tim to the sunken road. Whoa! I mean, that was a springboard. He nearly did a handstand on the backside of the last jump because he's so powerful behind. Incredible.
So I would love to see that again, because Falco, look at this. Ask and you will receive. Our amazing team. Look at this for athleticism. In, bang, one stride, and then this. What on earth? He turned himself inside out, nearly kicks Tim out the front door.
That's incredible.
Just lovely to watch. Thank you very much to our team who've been, I mean, they're out there, there's filming, there's editing, there's everything going on, and they've been so good in providing these pictures. Thank you very much. So Tim Price now coming up to the water. The Brown Advisory Lake.
Super. Easy. This horse just jumping for fun. I mean, I'd love to get a series of pictures of that sunken road as we're back to Jenny, who's flying here. Looks like she's heading maybe back down the hill. Yes,
yeah,
to the roller coaster. So she's navigated Mars Sustainability Bay and now comes down to this drop. There's been a few questionable jumps here.
Ooh!
It's okay.
Hands all fours. Rattles the first part.
What a good
boy. And the second.
You know, and that's what an amazing partnership. You can see here, he's just going to go where Jenny tells him to go. He's so genuine. He's so thoughtful. We saw her at the end of Kentucky get very emotional about the partnership with this horse because she said he's not supposed to be doing this, but he has so much heart. As we have another thoroughbred galloping out, we've got Jessica Phoenix. I'll let you say it because you like to.
Wabbit. I love Wabbit. Wabbit, the lovely grey. 14-year-old by line of departure. No kissing the dam. Great gladiator, the dam sire. Molinaro Farms, bred, and Jesse owns along with Jim Phillips. Wabbit has been to some of the biggest events in the world, badminton Burleys, to Kentucky and Maryland's being amongst them. Jenny Brannigan, Twilight's Last Gleam.
Nice job finishing there. She still has those penalties on there, but we will have a review. She's going to be very fast. Look at her.
Yeah.
Looks, you know, we missed that, but I see all rails and flags intact.
So Jenny Brannigan stops the clock 7 seconds over the optimum time. She completes on 52.3. 7 seconds incurs her 2.8 time. That's a very fast time indeed. Tim Price, Falco.
Ooh, 4 and 4. Still, the horse just took a second to assess it, but jumped himself in between the lines there. You know, we've seen that come down in so many different ways, but what a fabulous combination. Again, just jumping for fun. I mean, I don't know. I think the horse is having fun. I think Tim's probably at work.
I mean, this is another, you know, we talk about Corvette Airlines, but Falco Airlines is another very favourite airline to be on board with, because he is a phenomenal jumper. We've just got Wabbit in the main arena with the Canadian Jesse Phoenix, but Tim Price on this long climb, and look, the crowds are staying. We've got 3 left to go, and 3 of the very best. Harry Mead, Boyd Martin, Colleen Loach. There are the last 3 as Tim Price and Falco ping out over that lovely presented and lovely fence that gives the horses just a little bit of a breather on the uphill climb. So the Big Elk Palisade, sponsored by Kingdom Horse Trailers, is jumped. It's the Taylor Harris Insurance Service box now that Tim also jumps to the Sawmill Slices. What will Falco do? What will Tim do? We've seen experienced horses question this fence in quite an unpredictable way.
Looks really sharp, really full of running, as good as any that we've seen come around this turn. So we're starting in the positives.
Tim wearing the purple ribbon, which is in memory of Georgie Campbell, one of his. He's going long straight away. No, he's not. He's going quick the first part. And then long.
Yeah, and that's one of the best rides that we've seen, actually. It was a different angle, but that's the straightest we've seen the horses come through and read that. This doesn't take a half a second longer. I mean, it probably takes a half a second longer, but it's worth it.
Yeah, definitely. And he left the flag up, so there's going to be no question marks there. Yeah, the purple ribbon worn for Georgie Campbell, who we devastatingly lost at Bicton Horse Trials this year, and Jesse Campbell, one of Tim's very, very good friends. So wearing that in memory, if you're wondering. So we now have Tim Price coming up to the Mars Sustainability Bay. Water, the crab, the bounce in. It's all there for the jumping. Tim Price, 2 minutes left on the clock. He needs to be up here with a minute and 15 left. He's just behind the clock. He sits up, he sits back. But Falco is a galloper. This is going to be quite interesting.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's where Falco was very clever, because he does jump high, he does get up in the air, wastes a little bit of time in the air, but actually was very economical there. And the thing with this horse is he's got a lovely gallop on him, and it's almost like he's got a tank with an endless supply of fuel.
And I just think Tim just rides so beautifully, because this horse needs a rider like Tim. Tim's empathetic, he's forward, he's positive, he's accurate, he trusts him. You know, whoops. And but that's okay. He's put enough money in the bank, and there's scope to spare, so never mind. But the horse is just full of running and charging down this hill. I think Oliver Townend might be sweating right now, because I think this is a duel to the bitter end.
And we also understand that Boyd Martin has withdrawn sets a leg. It's not been his Mars Maryland 5-star 2024. So we just have 2 left to go. Harry Mead, and it will be another ride for Colleen Loach.
Flying home, 45 seconds. I think he's right around where Oliver was.
Yeah.
So this is going to be really, really close.
The score to beat, 31.43. 31.3. Just put my teeth back in. 27.4 is the score that Falco is on.
And he is charging. This horse is full of run. Look at him go. He's done such a fabulous job. He's gotten all the jumping
This is the best
done.
we've seen come home.
Amazing. He's known, he's had a little bit to play with. Checking his watch right there. These owls have got to be jumped. There was a lot of concern about these owls, but so far...
So if he wants to be inside the if he wants to go into the lead, he needs to be no more than 9 seconds over the time. That will give him 3.6 time penalties.
Is he going to make it? I don't think he's going to make it.
9 seconds it is. That's it there. 10. Now he goes second. Then he will go third because Ed Hopp, Dumatz and Harry Mead, the 10-year-olds, could go ahead. And it is 34.6 and goes into third, 1.1 behind David Dole and Galileo Nurmud on 34.5.
Well, it was just a class round. Oh, and we've got Jessie up at the top for some reason here. Decided to call it a day. It looks like they're moving. She's at the highest point of the course.
She was at the 11th, unfortunately. Harry Mead is in the main arena. He's just jumped through with the 5-star campaigner. First one, it is Colleen Loach with FE Goldeneye. They sadly had, no, who was it? Jessie.
Yeah.
Jessie Phoenix. Yep, she had problems at 11. Which she had, no, 12, sorry. The coffin broke the rail and then had a run out at the last element and decided to call it a day. So Harry Mead, our second last to go. Harry with this lovely, lovely French bred gelding, 10 years old, by Normand Douzet. The Dam Prima de Mats by Easy Star, 33.6. Harry could go second, but this is this horse's first 5-star. 10 years old, owned by Mandy Gray and Harry himself, bred by Roger Servet at Hop de Mats.
You know, this is a really, really big horse, a very scopy horse. You know, a real testament to Harry believing that that was the type of track that was going to be built here, was one for a big scopy horse. That's why he shipped this horse over here. And speaking to him yesterday, he just feels like even in the last month, this horse has just come strength to strength in his physique, in his body. He's feeling great. Whoa. And just a little suppleness exercise just to warm himself up, getting out to the cross country.
And it's so sad to see Jessie Phoenix and Wabbit. I won't be able to say it tomorrow.
You can talk about it.
Can I?
Yeah.
Thanks. So Harry Mead coming down towards... It's quite a tight turn down to this wide oxer.
Nice shot.
Oh, lovely.
I know, and it's wild. Harry rides all shapes and sizes, and you know, hopefully his longtime campaigner is happily back at the barn munching on hay while Harry gets to work on the next generation.
A relentless gallop, hasn't this horse got? A really long, scopy gallop. But, as we saw in the dressage, he just found it a little bit harder at times to shorten the canter.
Well, fortunately there, the jump shortened the canter for him. He was able to keep galloping, knowing that he was going to back off of that water a little bit, and that just compressed him up right nicely to drop down into that water. And again, that water is proving to jump a lot better than a lot of the competitors have thought about. Over to the left, we see Colleen, the last one in the warm-up, getting ready to go as Harry gallops up the lane here past an empty warm-up.
Yeah, Harry could go second, Colleen could go third.
See Colleen down there hiding behind the tree. A quick reroute from Morven Park for Long.
That was an uncharacteristic time for them, wasn't it?
Yes. You know, she had an early hiccup early on, and she said, you know what, I'm not waiting for the end of the season. We have another 4-star in November, and she said, I'm going to the 5-star. I'm doing a quick reroute. The horse has got some experience, so at 4-star at championship level, she was a reserve for Paris as we wait for Harry to come flying around the turn.
And as if by magic, here he comes.
It's like I just queued him up.
It was.
You could just queue up a Harry.
I thought you'd done this before. You should be up for an Emmy.
Oh, beautiful.
Lovely. And he's gone left on both his horses. Oh, Harry's gone! No.
So frustrating. You know, the horse was so beautiful and so careful, but just a little right of center and just hung that leg just a bit and just kind of a slow, I mean, he didn't stand a chance, did he?
No.
You know, just a green mistake there. The horse wasn't sure which way, and so unfortunate. That's going to be a long ride home.
Yeah, it is. So it is Colleen Loach. She started 14th after Dressage. She's currently sitting in second after today's cross country. There will be a maximum of 9 going through to tomorrow's show jumping. We don't. There's good. Oh, Harry, he'll be so upset about that. Rosie and owners will be at his side, and he's a great sport. That's what we know, and an out-and-out nice guy. So he will take that. He'll take what happened on the way to that fence with him, and he'll also learn from what happened there. In the way that horse came down to the brush, just didn't quite read it quick enough, and that's just cross country. First 5-star, that have learned a lot, so don't let that bother you too much. Colleen Loach then, our last to go, with FE Golden Eye, 12-year-old by Gold Fever, the Dam Cascade by Contendro, bred by Marjorie House, owned by Amanda Bernard, Colleen herself, Maureen Hallam, and Peter Barry.
You know, and Colleen's got her work cut out for her. This horse can be a bit cheeky. It has an occasional run out here or there, but she knows that. She's not going to be caught off guard by it. I honestly think that she's going to need a challenge in front of her for both of them to be ready to be attacking, because this horse is so talented. Not always the quickest across the country, but today that doesn't matter. Jumping the jumps, getting it done clean, that is going to, like you said, at least get you in the top 10.
Yeah, well. It will. She can afford no time penalty to go second. As you say, FE Golden Eye, not always the fastest cross country, but Colleen will be out there to have a good run, a good spin, and she will look after him. You know, that's the thing as well. And if he doesn't feel right, then she'll make the right decision, make the right call, and decide that there is another day. Only 12 years old, you know, one of the youngest horses in the field. We saw Harry Mead with the 10-year-old in Et Op de Mats. Very talented horse, and a horse that Harry, everybody thinks a lot of their horses, but he sees a big future for that horse, and it was very unfortunate what happened. Not going to go on about it, but there's another young horse, 12 years old, Golden Eye, stepping up to the 5-star level only recently, didn't he, as well? So still miles to gain on the clock, experience to learn, but with Colleen in the saddle, no better pilot.
No, and this horse is really, really a fabulous jumper. Has jumped around some Grand Prix and it's just straight show jumping. You can see ears pricked, but she does need to show him the flag. She does need to tell him, this is where you're going, this is where you're doing. But the great thing is when you have a horse that jumps like this, you can be very confident that they're going to take care of themselves. So she can challenge him to get up there. She can challenge him to the flags, and he's going to be very, very careful. She's ridden this horse for quite some time and represented Canada at the Pan American Games, and like I said, was a reserve for Paris. So she's had a big year, and
wasn't she a reserve for Tokyo as well? I think she was, which would have made it quite tough for her.
Yanbar, Sunderland Road. Yanbar supplying the vehicles
Oh, that's the first we've seen do that.
Yeah, I think that is so unfortunate, and that is a little bit of that cheekiness that we have talked about before. But she's going to carry on. She's going to keep going. There's a lot to learn on this course, and it's just unfortunate. You know, it's so frustrating when you have this just sneaky 20 that can kind of show up around the course, and that's what's happened to Colleen with Golden Eye every now and then. It's hard to tell what's going to catch him a little bit here and there, but he obviously just didn't read the out that quickly, got a little careful, scooted out to the side, so it's going to take all of her experience, and she's not going to let him get off the hook with that. He's got a lot more jumping left in him, and like we've seen today, if you can kind of just get home there's gonna be a top 10 finish.
Yeah, so reserve Paris, road Tokyo, roads Rio de Janeiro. So, ow, just got slapped.
Oh my. Very careful there. Quick thinking gets him back to the line. You know, again, there you see his scope, but you also see his carefulness. And, you know, that's why it's very difficult to have a horse that can jump as well as to go to jump some Grand Prix just in the show jumping, and then they can be quick and fast and brave across the country, because they are really very aware of the jumps, aware of their body. And you saw him just get a little careful jumping in, but then showed the bravery of a lion coming on a bending line to that big keyhole. So young horse, lots to do, lots to learn, and is just kind of got that frustrating little bit about him, but he's also such quality. I mean, what do? You just keep going. You just keep going, Spencer.
You do. There's not a lot else you can do.
No.
But this is what I said, you know, as she came into the main arena, she'll make the right call, she'll make the right decision. If he carries on jumping the way that he has been, then Colleen is so experienced that she will say, do you know what? It's not today. And she will jump a few fences, get that confidence levels to a level where she knows it's a good time to pull the plug and go home, back to drawing board a little bit. Didn't quite happen for them, as you said, at their last run. They come here with those few jumping efforts that have not quite gone to plan. Let's see how he, though, copes with this next question, as she just steadies up down the hill to the rail. And if he goes green here, then she will have to start thinking about making a decision, and she has, and I think that will be the end of their day. She's had 2 refusals, she's giving him a pat. Will she jump something? Will she come back to the rail? There is a longer route right out on the far side. No, there isn't. They have to come back to this log, don't they, on the top of the bank. Will she jump the log and then just say, okay, now, is that enough?
No.
No, she's not.
She says, I'm tired of these nagging 20s. We're going to keep going.
I'm tired of these commentators saying I'm going to give up after...
But to be fair, the horse is still jumping great. The horse is jumping great. He's just showing his greenness.
Yeah.
He's showing a little bit of insecurities.
Corner.
And she's saying, you know, we're here. Let's keep going.
Yeah.
Because then he comes back and he looks full of confidence. And I think that's a little bit of this horse's way. And
Demeanor.
look, she's had this horse for a long time. She can tell where he's at. And she's saying, you know, we're not going to stop on that. Because if we stop on that,
that's what you'll remember.
That's what you're going to remember.
Yeah.
And while he's still feeling fit and he's still feeling like he's jumping, like his pants are on fire, which he is, he's going to keep going.
So as a rider, what you would do, what I would do, because I'm probably more chicken than you are, is to jump the next fence, go long at those doubler corners, maybe go long at the crab water, see how I am, but not taking those direct routes, giving him more of a scare, is getting home.
And I think I agree with you with the corners. It'll be interesting there because, you know, when you get a behavior like this, like a running out, like a cheeky little something, the more you do it, the more it gets ingrained.
Yeah.
So when you have those corners that have, for the bravest, most straight, most genuine horses,
all questioning,
you know, that you might say, okay, we're going to keep jumping around. We'll skip those today, and
see
we'll
what
see
happens
she does.
through the winter.
Yeah.
See if we can find someone that can build us one of those. And
yes, Ian's going to have don't worry, Ian's going to have a job after this, after all.
Yeah, he is.
A course designer
so
for
let's
cross-country.
see what Colleen Loach does up at these 2 corners now. She is heading towards her 8th minute out there on the cross country. She'll be probably nearer her 9th minute. In fact, she is. She's got 2 minutes and 8 left on the clock. She's had a couple of problems.
I mean, he still looks great.
But where will she go? Will she just... She looks like she's looking round to the left. She is looking round to the left. But is she looking round to the left to the long route? Or is she looking to go direct? She's going long.
Yeah.
Phew.
Yeah.
We're not too bad at our job. Thanks, Colleen. We owe you a beer. But this is understanding horses, and knowing what she's got underneath her. We've all been there. Knowing what there is, we want to get this horse home, and he is still jumping his pants off. He's had a couple of keep going, Colleen, and he's had a couple of little green issues, and it's now about finishing this event, making him feel like he is very clever and very brave.
Yeah, that he can get to the other side of this.
Yeah.
Such a beautiful shot. I mean, look at the crowd up at the top waiting till the very end of this competition. It's been such a fabulous, fabulous day. We've had so much excitement from the word go at 9 o'clock this morning. I think I'm going to need a nap after this.
Okay, so I would go the bounce, which she's going to do. No, she's going straight. Ooh, she's brave. Oh, Colleen, I wouldn't have done that. No. That's her third, and that's her elimination, and that is the worry after you've had two, is he goes home on that now. I would have gone the bounce, then one fence into the water, which is the 3-star routine. That's a real shame.
It is, but we ride so well from here, Spencer.
Don't we? We do. Well, sadly, that is 3 refusals cumulative out there on the cross country for Colleen Loach and Effie Goldeneye. There'll be another day, that's for sure. But what a place to do it, right up at the biggest crowd.
I'd just jump off and go get a beer up there.
Well, I know Pierre Le Goupil, who is going to be the new course designer here, his wife, who they became very, very good friends, Yannick. I had a fall at Martin Vast when it was there, before it then moved to a Radapan. And I fell at a fence that was right near the bar. The owners took the horse. I went to the bar, had a beer. But what a day of cross country. It will be the man that has finished twice third here, once second here. He's going to go into the show jumping as the overnight leader. It is Great Britain's Oliver Townend, and he's with Frankie.
Oliver, I am pleased to present you with these Altoids Curiously Strong mints for your Curiously Strong riding today. And those are the box of mints that you want at the end of the day. That does mean you're going to be the leader going into tomorrow. And just one more time, thinking you've now had a few moments to reflect on your ride and what this horse means to you in this round today.
Yeah, he's a very special horse. He's got a huge amount of experience, and we're thrilled to have him back at the level for the owners, Karen Shooter, Angela Hislop and Val Ryan. They've been incredibly supportive from word go with this horse, and we've been on a seriously good journey with him.
Well, you'll be in the hunt for those final Altoids mints tomorrow in the Kiss and Cry, and what a day of cross-country sport it has been here on Ian Stark's track. We're going to send it back to you guys in the booth one more time to close us out.
Well, thank you very much, Frankie. Great to hear from Oliver Townend. He is his best mate. He has been incredible. And there is Ollie. He is, very emotional about his round with Ballamore Class. Thomas, 17 years old. They brought him across the pond. There's Karen Shooter. There is Martin Johnson. Martin, who's been a great friend of Oliver's for many, many years. He's the organiser of the Burley Horse Trials over in the UK, Martin. And he says, thanks, camera. Thanks, fans. Thanks, everybody, as they all hang on here at the Mars Maryland 5-star, enjoying this beautiful autumnal sunshine. But let's now take a look at the Magna Wave Daily Pulse. 3, 2, 1. Well, lying in third place, it is Tim Price and Falco. They really impressed us across the country. It was Falco Airlines, jump on board and stay with him.
I mean, this was honestly, to me, almost the ride of the day. I thought it was beautiful. It was so accurate. The horses jumping for fun, finished full of running. Just a fabulous, fabulous round for Tim and Falco.
Yeah, they just picked up the 7.2 time penalty. He's added to their dressage at 27.4. He will go to cross country, to show jumping on 34.6. But this man was the only rider inside the time, as was last year Phelps, and they were the only ones inside the time last year, and I think David was one of the only ones that went the direct route there.
Yeah, just a fantastic piece of riding from David. Really helped this, actually what is a fairly young horse at this level compared to the rest of the field. He really helped to navigate everything, showing him where to go, and there was just such belief in partnership here. It was a real masterclass.
Not only was he inside the time, he was 24 seconds inside the time, but Oliver Townend, he's been twice third, he's been second. This could be his year. The Mars Maryland 5-star is there for his to take. Ballymore class, 17 years old, looked amazing, 4.8 time.
Such a calculated round. He was playing in odds and percentages. Like he said, he took care of the horse and took care of the win. So all to play for tomorrow.
All to play for Oliver Townend with 3 5-star wins under this horse's belt already. 8 5-star wins to Oliver's name. Can he make it 9? Can he make it 4 for this lovely grey? We will find out tomorrow. A brilliant round from Great Britain's former number 1. The Magna Wave Daily Pulse 3, 2, 1. Let's go then to the Brown Advisory leaderboard. It is all change. Oliver Townend leads for Great Britain. Ballymore class 31.3. He does not have a fence in hand over Great Britain's fellow compatriot David Dole and Galileo Muhammad on 34.5. Tim Price, former winner here. New Zealand Falco 34.6 in third. Bubby Upton goes to fourth with Kohler for Great Britain 50.5. A massive gap between the top 3 and the fourth place. Jenny Brannigan in fifth. Twilight's last gleam. Emily Hamill, Corvette 6th, 69. We go over the page. There's only 8 left. We started with 23. Buck Davidson, Sora Keimer in 7th, 69.2. And Lillian Hurd Wood, his 10th 5-star, down in 8th place.
What just happened?
What just happened? I know what just happened. Oliver Townend knows what happened, and that was that he jumped round this cross country, 4.8 time penalties, looking after his best mate in Ballymore class. It was so lovely to watch him. He knew what he had to do. He went round that cross country. There he is with Tim Price. Tim, who lies in third place. There's not one fence separating our top 3. That's how close it's going to be. But 3 incredible riders, Oliver Townend, David Dole, Tim Price. And just after, there is Sue Benson, just after Tim's round, they're having a little debrief. Frankie caught up with Tim to see what he thought.
Tim Price absolutely flying around this track with Falco. You guys add a little bit of time to the clock there, and it's very hard to get this done double clean.
Yeah, and it's a tough track. I mean, make no bones about it. It's a beast of a thing. My horse, he's done quite a lot. He's only done 1 5-star, and that was Poe, which, no offence, Poe, but then a patch on what Scotty's got here and the terrain, you know. So I had to just think about my horse. You know, it's always the old adage, ride the horse before the course. And I just know full well that the more you just hold in reserve at the start, you can really go spending at the bank on the way home. And so he felt fantastic coming home. It's not just about today, it's about tomorrow. I feel like he's had a really fun round and been within himself the whole way, and hopefully that stands us in good stead to have good 3 phases.
You guys are definitely going to be in it to win it tomorrow as we go into the final phase of competition. Oliver does sneak ahead of you with those few time faults, but also, you know, just talk about real quick, Scotty. I mean, you've been around these tracks all across the world. This is his last time designing, and what he's meant to the sport in that role.
Is he old enough to retire? I mean, it's a little bit cheeky. I reckon he's got a good decade left in him, surely. I did not hear about him like going some backcountry skiing in the middle of winter. If he can do that, he can do this for a bit longer. No, his tracks are just great. We love them, we respect them. He's been fortunate, I think, to have built at some, or designed at some really great courses, great competitions. And it's given him the opportunity to do whatever he wants and be as creative as he wants, and nowhere's allowed him to do that more than here at Maryland. So we'll dearly miss him, but it's been a real privilege to ride some of his tracks the last few years.
All right, well, we think he counts as the official course designer all the way until midnight tonight when he turns into Cinderella, most likely. But great job today, and good luck tomorrow.
Hopefully he'll be under a trailer somewhere at that point, because everyone's got him.
That's the camaraderie, isn't it, between this sport? A former rider, I mean, Ian, who was a winner of many 5-stars in his career, he's got such respect from the riders as a course designer because of his riding, but also because he designs such beautiful tracks that the horses read. Yes, it didn't go well today necessarily on paper, but we saw some fantastic rounds.
Absolutely. And, you know, no one better to speak to, you know, at the final rider meeting the other day, he said, you know what, any rider, come talk to me, come walk the course with me, because it's too late for them to fire me. I'm going to break all the rules. I'm going to help you guys get around this track. I called him last night, said, can you talk me through it? You know, little old me spent 20 minutes on the phone with me talking through the track, and we are dearly going to miss him out here, because I think he has just been one of the best riders that has ever been, and one of the best course designers that has ever been. And now I guess he's going to take on and try and be one of the best skiers he's ever been.
Don't doubt it. Don't doubt it. Well, listen, it's been an incredible career for Ian Stark, both in the saddle and out, as he, even at Blair Castle a few weeks ago, rode the wonderful horse round the, I think he was in the 3-star, you know. He's still at 70 riding at 3-star level. He is an amazing man, but don't take my word for it, just let's hear from the man himself.
Hi, I'm Ian Stark, and my job these days is to be the course designer at the Maryland 5-star event in the USA. I started riding, I was about 10 years old. There was a boy not much older than me, led me up and down the drive on a horse and was shouting up, down, to do rising trot. We galloped across the first field, and for a moment I thought, well, I'm about to die. And then suddenly I thought, I love this. I'm very, very lucky. As I say, I rode in the 84 Olympics. So I did 84, 88 in Seoul, 92 in Barcelona, 96 in Atlanta, and 2000 in Sydney. I have 4 Olympic silver medals, which is brilliant. Slightly frustrating that I haven't got a gold, but there we go. I can't really complain about that. I'd never crossed my mind about designing, and I was still busy competing in riding. And I said, well, I'll give it a go, and if I'm useless, just tell me to go away and I'll do something else. Anyway, I did the first year and absolutely loved it. The interesting thing about Maryland, it was my first and only 5-star course that I've designed. The pressure is enormous because you design a course that you think is a good competition, and my main thing is I'm always terrified horses don't understand or read my questions that I put out, so I'm terrified I trick the horses. So I'm very, very thorough about preparation, and I lie in bed at night and go over in my head how every jump and every bit of ground and terrain is going to affect the horses and the riders, and the shape they're going to make and how they're going to get to the next fence. Yeah, this will be my last year because I'm retiring straight after Maryland this year. It's kind of a relief talking about retirement, but I know I'm going to be pretty upset and sad when it comes, and I pretend I'm really tough and you know, I'm quite sort of hard on all the riders and everything, and I like that image, and then somebody says something nice and I'm burst into tears, which is pathetic, really. So I'm going to be sad when it's all over, but I think it's the right decision, and I'd much rather go when people still want me than people saying that silly old idiot should have gone 10 years ago. So in my head, this is the right decision.
Oh, Scotty. We've all thoroughly enjoyed. I've jumped around some of his fantastic tracks all around Europe and around the world. That is what this man will be taking up, skiing, hopefully not in a field of chrysanthemums, but that is going to be his new direction. He's been amazing, he's been great, and it is a heartfelt thanks from us all here. The Maryland 5-star at Fairhill is grateful to have such invaluable support from the state of Maryland, and we extend our appreciation to the many agencies and departments who help make an event of this magnitude possible. Well, it's been an emotional roller coaster of a day. The 3-star and 5-star cross country did not disappoint. It was full of thrills and it was full of spills. But we saw the cream rise to top, and we're going to be in for a really exciting final day of the 2024 Mars Maryland 5-star, presented by Brown Advisory. From us all here, thanks so much for watching. We'll see you all again for more action. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.
The Mars Maryland 5-star would like to thank Mars Equestrian and the Mars family of brands for their support. Mars Equestrian, Buckeye Nutrition, Ethel M Chocolates, Nutro, Pedigree, Antec, and Sound.
Embark on a culinary journey along the banks of the Upper Chesapeake Bay. Discover Cecil County, Maryland, where food and adventure bring people together. Pull up a chair. We're waiting for you. Visit us at discovercecil.com.
We'd like to thank the following partners: Mars Equestrian, Brown Advisory, Cecil County, and Maryland Sports Commission. The Maryland Horse Library and Education Center in Reisterstown offers a special collection of over 5,000 equine-related volumes. Monthly events include panel discussions, author talks, and book signings. Visit marylandhorse.com to learn more.
No world is truly unchanging.
This is nature at its absolute finest.
Our daughter, she's gone missing. I should leave this alone.
But you won't.
He's doing things no one had ever done before, and that is astounding.
It's absolutely mind-boggling.
Hi, I'm Ken Burns. Our next film travels outside of America and deep into the mind of the Italian visionary artist and scientist whose imagination knew no bounds. Watch Leonardo da Vinci right here on Maryland Public Television.